Hey, what's up, guys? This is Nick at the Lost River Drive-In, and I've got a guest, another guest. Just like last week, we are back with, hold on, TV's very loud. All right, we are back with my good friend, and I hope yours, Justin, or Ryan 1988. So let's go ahead and bring Justin in here.
What's up, buddy?
How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing well. Sorry, I'm like a minute or two behind. It was a mad dash trying to get everything set up for him, so he's occupied. But
no problem, buddy.
So how's your week been? How was your last week?
It was a great week. It was a great week and a great weekend. So like we finally have like sunny weather. We've had like cold and rainy weather, and now we got some sun in. So I'm really happy with that.
Oh, I know. Look at this. I mean,
I know.
right on the face. I said, I'm in Ohio, so we're right next to each other. So whatever you're experiencing, I'm experiencing it.
You're experiencing too. Yeah. Yep. Oh yeah. So.
Well, guys, everybody in the chat, thanks for coming in. Right now, I'm just trying to get this up on my laptop really quick, so it's easier for me to pull your guys' comments up rather than having to tap on my phone every time. As you saw from the description and from what Justin and I both posted on our social media, this video is going to be about the Halloween franchise. It is, I know it's my first love. I think I'm confident in saying it's also Justin's.
It is.
So we are ready to just dive into it, talk about anything and everything pertaining to it. And, okay, this is weird. Hold on. Oh my goodness. Oh, I think I need to, you know what, whatever. No, I do have to do it on my phone. Okay, whatever. We'll just do it on the phone. I can't figure it out. So this is going to be kind of, I don't know. I want to go really just movie by movie, give our thoughts on each movie, maybe show off some cool stuff that we have from the franchise, some rare things, whatnot. And I think that is the best way to go to start it off. So would you like to work backwards or would you like to work in chronological order?
Let's do, I guess like from Carpenter's movie up until the 2018 movie. Do you want to do it that way?
Let's do it.
All right.
So I want to know your first experience that you remember watching Halloween 78, what it meant to you, what it kind of path it put you on, and what you think of the movie as a whole.
So for me, I remember seeing the movie on USA Up All Night. The USA Network used to play horror movies. They don't do that anymore. And I saw Halloween, and I also, we'll get into it in just a moment, but I saw Halloween 2 as a double feature back to back. So I think I was maybe 9 years old when it was on TV, and I was randomly just sitting in the living room watching Halloween, and I had no idea what I was watching. And then, I kept seeing it on TV over the years, and USA would play it, AMC would play it, and I just started falling in love with it. I remember like certain moments, like when Tommy Doyle is looking across the street and he sees Michael Myers carrying Annie into the house, and you have that great, creepy, eerie shot of him doing it. I remember moments like that. And honestly, kind of just throughout the years, I'd see it on VHS. I would, my mom, she's a big Halloween fan. She loves Halloween. She's a big fan of the franchise overall. And so she had this VHS tape, which I remember she said she was going to throw it out at some point. I said, let me take it because I will keep this in my collection. But every time I would go to her house, I would watch this VHS tape. That's the way I saw it a lot of the times. And it really made me fall in love with film, and it made me fall in love with kind of just horror films and that franchise altogether. So I have like the best first time memories seeing Halloween. How about you?
Well,
Did I answer everything, by the way?
oh yeah, no, you're good,
Oh,
man.
perfect. Awesome.
Hello, thank you.
Hello.
I appreciate the support. I hope that if you like Justin's content, you mine might be serviceable enough. But I appreciate that support.
Thanks
Yeah.
for
So
stopping by, Bill.
for yes, yeah. Rest in peace.
Yes. Yes. Hi, Pat. How are you doing, buddy?
I so I remember first seeing it when I wasn't the first one I saw. The first one I ever saw was Halloween 5 on AMC Monster Fest.
Nice.
And I think that is why that has always been so close, near and dear to my heart.
Yeah.
But I saw Halloween. I was probably like 9, somewhere around that age, and it was my mom's favorite movie, and it scared the crap out of me because I always had babysitters growing up because my mom worked 2 jobs. So it was like you start to put yourself in the position of, say, like Tommy Doyle, and you're like, what if Michael Myers came here to try to kill my babysitter? And then what if so I remember that freaked me out. But I always was struck by the scene in the closet. With him busting through the closet, and Laurie's in there, and I absolutely love that scene, and that stuck with me. So that's probably when I remember seeing it. I don't really need to go in depth with a lot of the people on here about how I feel about it, and I'm sure you don't either. Halloween is my favorite movie of all time, not just my favorite horror movie. I think that it is
mine too.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So like, you guys, if you sub to us, it's our favorite movie. I don't need to go like, okay, well, here's why I like Halloween. No, I love it. It's my favorite,
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I sometimes I'll have people ask like, what is your, let's see what we got here. Been watching your channels for years. Thank you guys for all my top 10 favorite. Well, thank you. Yes. And yeah, it's definitely it's top 10, but it's definitely my favorite of the Halloween. Thank you. But yeah, it's definitely my favorite film of all time. And I've had people ask me in the past, what's your favorite movie of all time? And I say Halloween, and they're like, that's your favorite movie of all time? And I'm like, yes. I mean, that's the film that I have great memories with, but it's a film that made me fall in love with films, not just horror movies, just films in general. And yeah, absolutely love it.
It made me want to be a filmmaker for a period of time,
Yeah.
Because you see how they made the movie, and it was so simplistic. And it's like, well, if they can make this good of a movie with that shoestring budget, why couldn't I be? You know what I mean? So I don't know. Guys, we both love Halloween to death. So then before we move on to Halloween 2, Justin, what I would like to do is I want both of us to show, and I don't know if you're near your Halloween collection, but
I am. Yes, I am.
Show me your favorite edition of the 78 Halloween that you own.
All right, let's see what I got here. Well, I love the 4K, but I'm gonna go a little I love the 4K steelbook that they just came out with. So this one's great. I absolutely love that. But I would say I found this maybe about a year and a half ago. The lenticular DVD edition of Halloween with the TV cut. So I've been looking for this for such a long time, and pretty much mint condition. I was just so happy to find this, and I absolutely love it. And it came with like the insert card, so you got that right there. Mm-hmm. So very cool. I was like at a used movie store one day, and they had it for $14.99, and I'm like, I gotta get that because that's great. And I have so many favorite editions, but then I have like the double VHS orange Anchor Bay edition
with the keychain.
Really cool.
Yes.
Yes. So
still my beating heart. I found that on eBay, and I'm gonna buy it as soon as I get my bonus check. I'm literally any day waiting to get my bonus, and I'm gonna buy it because I've wanted that forever. So love that edition.
Yeah, that's a really cool edition, and it's so funny. It's like you had like stuff like that before you even had like 2 disc Blu-rays or 2 disc DVDs. I mean, you had something like that with like, you know, the second VHS being like the bonus features. So really cool.
Yep.
Let's see.
Yeah, true. It is, but
Yeah.
it's my favorite.
Yeah, it's my favorite too. My favorite too. Absolutely love it. I want to talk real quick. I was just going to say, I love the characters in the movie. I think Deborah Hill was able, because she wrote the female characters in the movie, and they're some of the best characters in a horror movie. Just the way they're written, they're your average, you know, high school girls, and they're your average, like, you know, townspeople, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah.
And I absolutely love the writing.
Yep. Evan, it's funny that you mentioned that because
That's cool.
my 2 editions that I can't decide which one is my favorite. I obviously, Justin showed this one as well. I love the 4K Steelbook.
Yes.
This thing was awesome. I had that pre-ordered like 2 months in advance. But honestly, one of my favorites, and I'm really proud of the condition I've been able to keep this one in, and I need to get a player for this so I can watch it just for nostalgic reasons, but the Blockbuster Presents VHS.
Ooh, that's so cool. So cool.
I absolutely love this VHS, and this is like memories of my childhood, this specific edition. So I need to get a VHS player. And it's dangerous because I know, you know, you can ruin tapes sometimes. I want to get the best VHS player I can because I'd love to go back and, you know, trip down memory lane with some of these VHS transfers. So
I still have my it's boxed away. I pull it out every once in a while, but it's my DVD VHS combo, and it still looks perfectly fine. So like 3 years ago, I put on Halloween, and I just wanted to see what it looked like on VHS, and I'm like, this is like throwbacks to the time where that's what I watched a lot before I ever bought my first like DVD edition of Halloween.
Yeah.
So, but I love that Blockbuster edition. I will have to track that down at some point.
Yeah. Yes. I love the cover art. You know, James Lee, Michael in the background at the top of the steps.
Oh, so good. So good.
Yes, the Haddonfield sign. That with the Wallace house. Brooke got me that for Christmas. That was actually a stocking stuffer. So yeah, so cool. I love that sign too. She's like, "Where are you gonna put it?" And I was like, "I think I'm just gonna put it on the shelf." Like, and I did it.
That's so awesome. Oh, and real quick, this is not it's like tucked in the back, but a buddy of mine, Resident Vania, a long time ago, sent me the UK edition of Halloween on Laserdisc.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So it's like tucked all the way in the back. I can't get it, but it's like right here in the corner. I'll have to send you a picture sometime, but that's really neat. But then the CD, the soundtrack. Ooh. So I have that too.
Yeah. See, I want to get the vinyl. I really want to get the vinyl.
Yeah. That would be neat. That would be so neat.
Oh, yeah. All right, guys. So we're going to move on to Halloween 2 now. As soon as I can get this back on my shelf, because I don't want my shelf to be in shambles by the time this is over. So now we're going to move on to Halloween 2, starting with Justin again. We're going to tell me when you first remember seeing it, your first thoughts, and what you think of Halloween 2 today.
Okay, so I first saw Halloween 2 as that double feature with John Carpenter's Halloween on USA. And I remember, like, the first one's an eerie movie. But the second one, for me, scared me a little bit more. It has more of a creepy vibe to it. I love the hospital setting. I always thought that was creepy, and how, like, pretty much like most of the hospital takes place in like dark hallways, or, you know, it seems just like empty half the time. That one scares me. It doesn't scare me. It's just very eerie, in my opinion. And I still love it today. For me, it is still the best Halloween after the second one. I know we have like different timelines now, but I still love Halloween 2 today. I still have the same love for it than I did when I did the first time I saw it. I think the characters are overall great. There's some memorable characters. I think you have some great kills. Dick Warlock as Michael Myers, I think he did a really good job. He's one of the best. So for me, it's still one of the best and still one of the creepiest Halloween films.
Yeah.
How about you?
All right, so it was probably around the same time that I saw, or no, yeah, it was probably around the same time I saw Halloween when I saw Halloween 2, because my mom also liked 2. She only likes the first 2,
Yeah.
which I get into it with her all the time about Halloween 4, because she says,
Yeah.
"Oh, I can't stand that little girl," and I'm like, she's always screaming. I'm like, well, she's being chased by a murderer, but anyway, I digress. But and I remember really liking it when I first saw it, and I was actually taken aback when I first saw it by how much more brutal and in your face it was than the first one.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is, so tonally it's a little bit different, but I really enjoyed it when I saw it.
Yeah.
It's hard for me because I love every one of these movies for their own,
For their own
merits for some reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
But over the years, it's moved lower on my list. It's not like low. It's like it's like middle of the road for me, and that's simply just because as I've gotten older, I've been able to appreciate, like Halloween 5 more, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. But I absolutely love Halloween 2. I think that it's one of the best the next night type, or not the next night, the same night type sequels, like picking up right from its first movie. I love Donald Pleasance in it. My biggest gripe with Halloween 2 is they just didn't give Jamie Lee enough to do. And, she's comatose pretty much for 60% of the movie. And I get it, but it's just a bummer because in the first one, she carried the movie. And then this one, we focus more on the hospital staff. But overall, minor gripes. I love the movie. I think it's a great sequel. So
I mean, I also think of this as I know Dr. Loomis was in the first Halloween quite a bit, but I always felt like that was Laurie Strode's story pretty much. She had a lot of the screen time. In Halloween 2, I feel like it's definitely more, like you said, the characters in the hospital. And I also feel like it's Dr. Loomis's story because obviously the way it ends, it's like this buildup, and you have Dr. Loomis and Michael Myers finally coming face to face again, and having that little moment at the end. For the longest time, I never realized how much Jamie Lee Curtis really didn't have a lot of lines, or how much she wasn't really in the movie, until years later. And I hear you talking about it, and I hear other people talking about it. It's crazy how when you get older and you go back and you look at some of these movies and you rewatch them, how much you kind of notice. I love, overall love Halloween 2. I think it's great.
Yeah. The purpose to Michael. Yes. And here's the thing. I'm torn on that because the thing that made the first one so good was that it was random. It could be any babysitter in any town. And I get why John wanted to make them siblings because he wanted there to be more depth there. He didn't want it to be the same rehash, there's no reason. He wanted a twist. I have a love-hate relationship with it because I always will, no matter what, will always think of Laurie Strode as Michael Myers' sister. But I wasn't upset that 2018 went a different route because that's the route they wanted to go initially. That's how it was supposed to be in 78. Now it changed, but here's the thing. The best part is we have 2 timelines. So if you prefer the brother-sister timeline, you have that. If you prefer the random killer timeline, you also have that. So I totally agree with the comment, though. It did create problems, but also it's kind of iconic in that everybody thinks of Laurie Strode as Michael's sister, and we just can't help it. I mean,
to be quite honest, it's that's how, how I was, if this makes sense, how I was kind of introduced to these characters, is that when I got to Halloween 2 and I watched both Halloween and Halloween 2 back to back for the first time, I thought, until years later, looking at it and watching documentaries, that's how John Carpenter meant to write it, was that they were always brother and sister. And then watching documentaries later on, I found out that John kind of just wrote that in there in Halloween 2. I've always loved it. I'll still love it. again, we all have our different opinions on it, which is totally cool. And again, we have like different timelines. I think when I first heard that they were getting rid of the brother sister storyline for the Halloween 2018 film, to be quite honest, I was not happy. But
I remember your Facebook post. I remember your
yeah,
Facebook. Yeah,
I wasn't happy with it. I felt like they were just erasing something that I personally still love today, which is Halloween 2. I love Halloween 2.
Yep.
And so I wasn't happy with it. But as I watched the movie, I can accept it. I still prefer the brother-sister storyline. But again, we have different universes and different timelines. So, I mean, it all works.
We've got our own like Marvel Cinematic Universe in the Halloween series now. So, yeah. So basically, that's what it was. It was this random killer. It could be any town, anyone. And then the second one, the brother sister storyline does add more tension as well. I think. When it comes to Laurie Strode, because you have to imagine in her shoes how that would feel. Oh, by the way, this guy isn't just randomly coming after you. He's actually your brother. And then it's like, what? This messed up dude is my brother? So I definitely agree that can definitely add more tension to the story. And I think it worked well in Halloween 2. When it got dicey was when you got to a little bit of H2O, but really Resurrection. Resurrection, when it was kind of played out, and it was like, okay, we'll talk about Resurrection in a little bit. I was
going to mention real quick a couple things. With Halloween, what makes the first movie scary is the fact that movie, was just supposed to be he was a serial killer that just spotted Laurie Strode. The idea of fate and that moment when Annie said speed kills and he just like stops and they look at the car, I always just thought in the back of my mind, Michael Myers was like, okay, you guys messed with me. Now I'm going to go after all of you guys. I found that creepy. I still find
that was the moment when he decided, I'm going to kill you, to Annie.
Yes.
You're dead now. Christopher.
And with Halloween, I say real quick with Halloween 2, but it makes sense. In Halloween 2, the brother-sister storyline makes sense because he went to that hospital after her. He was not done with her. Yep. And I thought that was cool. Again, that created a lot of tension. So,
thoughts on the character arc of Dr. Loomis in the first 6 movies and the importance of him in the series? I loved the character arc. You get to Halloween 5, and you have a lot of people say that, oh, he's just way too out there. Loomis isn't even good anymore. And the way I look at it is, that is completely believable. By Halloween 5, for him to be as crazy as he is, I mean, this guy keeps breaking out and keeps killing people. And Dr. Loomis feels a sense of responsibility for that because it's his patient. And I mean, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a therapist, I'm nothing like that. But I would imagine as a therapist, as a doctor, if you've looked after someone for, damn near 20 years, you feel a sense of attachment to them where everything they do, you kind of blame yourself for it. And you want to have that breakthrough with them. So this whole time, Loomis is trying to, I feel like he always wanted to kind of save Michael. And then by the time you get to Halloween 4, he realizes there's no saving this guy. Like, I need to do whatever I can to put him down. And I love his character arc. What do you think, Justin?
Too. I love his character arc. He is my favorite character of this franchise. I mean, I love Laurie Strode, but Dr. Loomis is, for me, the staple. I love his story arc. I agree with a lot of what you said. And you even look back on when Michael Myers was a kid, like Dr. Loomis wanted to help this kid. And then you get to the first film and the second movie, and he wants to stop him. But as you get to 4 and 5, you can understand why Loomis is the way he is, and that is because he's tried to stop this guy several times, and Michael Myers keeps coming back. I love Dr. Loomis. Donald Pleasance, I mean, rest in peace. I mean, he was he's the thing that held especially the first 6 movies together.
Yep.
The first 6 movies.
Yep. All right, so now we're going to show our favorite editions of Halloween 2 that we own before we move on to Halloween 3. So I've got my 2 right here. And
All right.
one is the Shout Factory, Scream Factory, whatever you want to call it, Steelbook.
Oh, I have that on the other side of the room. I was like, man, I forgot that. No, I love that.
Love this art, and especially
Love that.
inside. And this actually has the TV cut too. You don't know what death is. Quote. Absolutely love that.
Yeah.
And then
Love
this
that.
is another hidden gem that is super old, and it's actually damaged because I bought it used off eBay like 5 years ago. It was like 90 cents, and it's a Good Times DVD release of Halloween 2.
Sweet. That's cool. I remember that.
Got the this is like the old clamp you like open.
Yeah.
Halloween 6 disc art on here. Don't know why, but
well, I gotta show you something. Yeah.
All right, you go ahead.
Cool. Okay, so the first thing, Halloween 2. This is a French DVD of Halloween 2.
Ooh.
Which I had a friend of mine on YouTube a long time ago send me this and send me the first one. So this is really neat. And it always reminds me of like a magazine cover. I don't know why, just the way the print looks and everything. So yeah.
No, I love foreign editions like that. I love foreign editions.
Yes. And Halloween 2, that Steelbook. I have it on the other side of the room. I totally forgot to get it, but I love the Halloween 2 Steelbook. Mm-hmm. Now this is not just the first movie. This is it's an overseas box set of Halloween through Halloween Resurrection.
Okay.
And so this has Halloween 2 in it. I can't remember where this is from. I think it's an Italian edition.
Okay.
But yeah, Halloween 2's in here. This is one of my favorite editions altogether.
Now, who's that signed by?
Danielle Harris. I had her sign that at a convention. So really cool. I thought that was neat. So
awesome.
Yeah, I love
awesome.
Halloween. Yeah, thank you.
I've been trying to track down the UK complete collection. It's just one through Resurrection. But it looks so cool. And it's like I don't know the conversion like off the top of my head with pounds to US dollars, but I think it's like 80 or 90 pounds. So, but I want to get it because it looks beautiful.
Oh yeah.
I saw a comment earlier in the chat. I want to pull it back up because I didn't want to say it when we were talking about it. Here we go. I'm super curious to hear your guys' feelings on Halloween 3. People have so many mixed feelings. Well, here we are. We've made it to Halloween 3. So now you can hear about our thoughts.
Yes.
Mr. Ryan 1988, why don't you start off? What did you think when you first saw it? And then how do you feel about it now?
So when I first saw it again, it was on TV, but this was AMC, and I loved it right away. Obviously I knew Michael Myers wasn't in it, but I loved it. I loved the atmosphere. I love the look of it, the small town setting, the music. That opening intro is like one of the best opening sequences in the Halloween franchise. And for me, again, personally, I loved it. And now today, I still love Halloween 3. And it now ranks, like for me personally, it ranks like in my top 5 favorite Halloween movies. I love Halloween 3. And, I understand when, if people might not like it, but the fact that this movie had so much hate over the years. I mean, when I first saw it, I really didn't hear a lot of people talk good about it. Or really not even talk about it at all. And now it's like we have different editions of Halloween 3 and more people are appreciating this movie. So I'm happy with that. But yeah, I've always loved Halloween 3. How about you? When did you first see it and what are your thoughts?
So my experience with Halloween 3 is pretty unique in the sense that my mother did not, for whatever reason, she didn't want me to watch it when I was a kid because she said, oh, it's, it doesn't have Michael Myers in it. It's terrible. Like, don't waste your time. You don't need to be watching that. So, like, that was, like, taboo in our household. I eventually got around to watching it on my own when I think I didn't see that one until I was, like, 13. Absolutely loved the movie from the first time I saw it. The very first time. It wasn't, I know a lot of people, it's like, well, it grew on me. No, I loved it the first time I saw it, but I'm also a sucker for sci-fi, so that sci-fi horror
Yeah.
element
Oh yeah.
I loved.
Yes, I agree.
I also, how can you not love Tom Atkins? How can
Yes,
you not
yes.
love Dan O'Herlihy as Connell Cochran? He's a great villain. I mean,
Oh yeah.
the idea to kill all the children in America, that's wild. So, and like you said, as the years have gone on, I think that it's in my top 5 of the franchise as well.
Yeah.
I love the originality. I love what they were going for. And yeah, I still to this day, I will die defending Halloween 3. I will die defending it.
I love Halloween 3. I forgot to mention the one thing that I love, and I remember talking to Tommy Lee Wallace about this at a convention, was the ending of it and the twist that Stacy, I think it's Nelkin, her real life name. The name in the movie, I'm just like I can't
you're
remember.
right.
Yeah, the twist at the end where you find out she's a robot, just wowed me the first time I saw it. And I always thought, like, in the movie, was she a robot the whole time, or was it when they kidnapped her? Because I feel like when they kidnapped her is when they brought in the robot version. Because if you notice, especially going back and watching it over the years, she doesn't talk at all when he gets her, and they're kind of stopping Colonel Cochran. Like, she doesn't talk at all. Like, she just seems different. But yeah, I've always loved kind of like that twist. So, like, I'm going to ask you, what do you think of that?
Still to this day, Justin, that gets under my skin because, and Tommy Lee Wallace has actually been asked about it, and he's never said when she was a robot. I agree. I think it was after they kidnapped her. I think what happened was Connell Cochran and his henchmen, they killed her. And they basically made a copy because they had a. Yeah. I think when they got to town, Connell Cochran knew that they were digging. So I think that they planned it. They were going to kidnap her. They were then going to bait Tom Atkins into coming to save her, even though it's not really her. And that way, if Tom Atkins were to somehow escape, she can finish the job. So that's the way I looked at it too. And still to this day, I want Tommy Lee Wallace to tell me. I mean, I just want to know when was the exact moment. But like you said, I've always noticed she doesn't talk. She doesn't do anything. I mean, she gets in the car. I mean, they're walking around the factory and
it's not saying a word.
Like, he's like, stay here. And they're like ducking behind the box and stuff. He's like, follow me and stuff and she's just following him. She's not saying anything, not doing anything. They get in the car. He's listening to the radio, talking about the weather and, Santa Mira, California on the radio. I still remember that, the weather report. And she's not saying anything. And so, I love that twist. I did too.
A couple of comments. Somebody said, they loved Halloween 3. I think it was my buddy Pat. But he said Michael Myers was in the movie. Technically, he is in the movie, but he's on a TV and they're promoting Halloween, John Carpenter's Halloween. So it's kind of I think that's great. I mean, little stuff like that. It's kind of like an Easter egg, but yes, technically he is in the movie, even though he's not in the film, if that makes sense. So,
all right. So now, Justin, mine is simple, but I want to see what your favorite edition of Halloween 3 that you own is.
Okay. I mean, I will say this, and I'm bad. I should have prepared more. I mean, I have stuff around me, but the Halloween 3 Steelbook, I love it. I love the Halloween 3 Steelbook. However, I will say, and this is just a simple Blu-ray, but when we did get the box set or when we got the first edition of Halloween 3 with the documentary, I was like, yes, we finally have an edition of a movie that we deserved with a documentary and everything.
Yep, that's how I felt about it too. When I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, we have a making of Halloween 3.
Yes.
I've waited years.
Yes, it was so cool.
Yes. So, like you said, the obvious pick is the Steelbook.
I had that
love this Steelbook. And guys,
I do too.
like Justin said, I should have probably I probably should have talked about this before we got on. This idea actually didn't come to me till we were on. So which is cool.
He
owns this edition as well. So
I do.
The Steelbook, and then another one that I love is the VHS, and this is the Good Times VHS. Yeah. Oh my god. Don't know
I have
what
that
it
too.
is, but that cheesy 80s art, I
Covers
just
up. It's
can't get enough of
amazing.
that.
That's like something you would see when you'd walk into a video store and you were going through like the horror movie aisle. I love that cover. Actually have it put away in my closet. I have most of all up to Halloween Resurrection on VHS. I just have most of them put away, but I have that edition and I love that edition
Yep.
of Halloween 3.
All right, guys, Halloween 4. Now I know Justin
Yes.
loves this movie. So, Justin, we're going to start with you. Initial thoughts about Halloween 4 when you were a kid and how you feel about it now.
So Halloween 4 was one of I wouldn't say it was one of the last, but it was something I saw later on. I would say 2003 is when I saw it. I had a friend. He was a fan of horror movies. His mom was a fan of horror movies, and they had a whole bunch of VHS tapes. And Halloween 4 they had, and I had never seen Halloween 4. It never really played on TV when I was younger, that I know of. And so we watched Halloween 4 for the first time on VHS at his house, and I fell in love with it. I loved it right away. I love the Halloween atmosphere. I think it has one of the best Halloween atmospheres. I love the character of Jamie Lloyd. I think she's a great character in the franchise. So yeah, first time I saw it, I loved it, and I still love it today. And I still have, because she had 2 copies of Halloween 4 on VHS. She said you could take the other copy of Halloween 4, and I still have that. Again, it's put away, but loved it then. Again, loved the atmosphere, loved the characters. I think Rachel as or Ellie Cornell as Rachel, she's again one of the best characters in the franchise. I absolutely love her. I think she's a underrated character in my opinion, because not a lot of people either talk or love Halloween 4, but I think she's a great character. I think what is his name? The guy who played Michael Myers.
That would be George Wilbur.
Yes, I think he's great. Despite the mask, I think he's great. I think again the atmosphere is great. I love the third act when they're inside the house and they're trapped in there. I think it has fun kills. So today I still love it for all those reasons why I loved it when I first saw it. So what about you? When did you first see it and what's your thoughts today?
Well, real quick, I want to address Marcus, my most valuable Halloween item. And thank you for the comment. I saw you on Instagram earlier, so I appreciate you following through and coming on the stream. It is either the paint chips from the Myers house.
Ooh, that's so cool.
Yeah, and I actually have those right here. So I'll just show them real quick just because I'm shameless about it. The paint chips from the Myers house.
That's so awesome.
Now painted blue. The Rob Zombie's Halloween theater used poster, because that was actually hung up at a local theater, and I got it after the film was done running there. So that's one. And then if you stay through the whole video, you'll see it when we get to one of the later movies. It's my favorite edition I own of any of the movies. It was one of the most expensive, one of the hardest to find, but it is a version of Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, and I can't wait to show it. So those are my most valuable. What about you, Justin? Most valuable?
Oh, let's see. So I was just thinking about this when he asked that question. So I have a buddy of mine named Brian. He had a Halloween 2 one-sheet poster. And I said, "Oh, I really love that." And he said, "I want you to have it." So I have a original one-sheet poster of Halloween 2. It's not put up right now. I have that. I also have, and again, it's put up. I'll have to I think you remember this. You've probably seen it in some old videos of mine. My Halloween 30 Years of Terror poster.
Oh, yeah.
And it's pretty much all signed everywhere, but to the max of, I have so many signatures on it. So I have John Carpenter. I have Jamie Lee Curtis. Those are the 2 big ones I was so happy with. I have so many signatures on that poster. So the Halloween 30 Years of Terror poster, that's really valuable for me. I remember getting it at the 30 Years of Terror convention. And then one of the other things I really like, and somebody just gave this to us when we were at the convention. Hello, is the Halloween 30 Years of Terror. This is a part of one of those chairs that you would hook this on the back of like one of those, almost like a studio chair.
Yeah.
So I have a Halloween 30 Years of Terror little memorabilia there. So
Now,
one of them.
You went to that, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah.
Yes, I did. That was my graduation present. And I was like, yes, like that's the best high school graduation present. Absolutely love it.
All right. So, and then my thoughts on Halloween 4. When I first saw it, I loved it. As I grew older, I loved it even more. I think that the fall atmosphere from the very opening sequence is fantastic. I think it's arguably Donald Pleasance's best performance as Loomis.
Agreed.
I think that, and I feel so bad for him in that parts of this movie. Like when, for example, when he's talking about to the doctor at the hospital about Michael being transferred, and he's like, "I've said this before. I think you're the one that needs mental help." That always just hurt my heart to hear him say that to Loomis, and it also just tears me up to see those kids pull over and then just, kick dirt up in Loomis's face.
Honestly, yeah.
Always made me so sad. But here we go. Sean Clark talking about
Sean Clark.
Share back.
Yes. So I got the Halloween 30 Years of Terror poster. Again, it's signed and put away, but like I love that poster so much. But yeah,
Sean was actually the guy I reached out to a few years ago about 40 Years of Terror, because I hadn't heard a peep on it, and I knew that Sean obviously has been involved in I think all of them. And I said, hey, like, are they going to do it? And he's like, yeah, we're going to do it. They hadn't made an announcement or anything yet. I know that one was kind of more last minute from what it sounded like, but I don't know if they're going to do any more. Sean, I don't know if you hear any rumbles. I know right now, and I could probably save this till I talk to you tomorrow on the channel. I'm having Sean Clark on tomorrow.
Nice.
Yeah, and we're going to chat. I'm freaking pumped. But
that's so awesome.
I know with everything going on right now with COVID and stuff, I don't know if that's even anything anyone's even thinking of streams right now, or not streams, conventions. But I didn't make it to 40 Years of Terror, and I was going to go, I was dead set. And then I obviously made it to South Pass in August when I saw all the filming locations and stuff, and that was just incredible. So Sean, if I think it'd be awesome too if we had a 45 years, because you could get the cast from 2018 and kills and everything, and I think that would be super fun. So keep me in suspense, Sean, until we talk tomorrow. But I just want to quickly just say that convention, I've been to a lot of conventions, and I'm not just saying this, that convention is the best experience I've had, because it was being that we're fans of the franchise. It was perfect. I got to go to a convention surrounding. No, sorry, Justin, to interrupt. No problem.
Oh, you're fine.
I'm free Wednesday nights as well. So if Wednesday works for you, that's totally fine. I get home from work 4:30 on Wednesday. So if any time after 1:30 Pacific time just works for you, 2:00 your time, whatever works best for you, Wednesday is totally fine.
But anyway, it was a perfect time. I remember going on the tour, and Sean, you're a great guy. I've met you a couple times at conventions, and just super nice. But yeah, I loved 30 Years of Terror. It was like a dream for me to go to that and just experience the whole thing.
Yeah. My thoughts on the new movies coming up. I'm going to assume you're talking about Kills and Ends. So I am super stoked for Kills. I am nervous for Ends. As a Halloween fan, I think that this middle chapter is going to be badass, because I think we're just going to get a lot of carnage. And I have a buddy that has seen the movie already. I have intentionally not asked for spoilers. I don't want to do that. And I would never talk about them if I had. But he told me that basically, yes, it is probably the most fun crazy Halloween movie. So I'm looking forward to that. My worry with Ends is how are they going to end it?
Yeah.
I know it's never going to truly end. We'll get more Halloween
Yeah.
movies. But how are you going to end the Laurie Strode, Michael Myers story? Because you would have to think one of them's going to have to die, or both of them die. So that's just going to be tricky. You have to do that right. And if that's not handled right, and I trust David Gordon Green. I mean, he's a super talented guy, and I loved 2018. So I'm totally I have faith, but it just worries me because Michael's my guy. So please, for the love of God, do not end this new trilogy in a way that is at all blasphemous to the fan. Now, again, like I've said before, our fan base can be toxic at times. We just can be. But us hardcore Halloween fans, we're never satisfied. But there's a way to go about it. If you're going to kill Laurie, it better be in a very ceremonious way. If you're going to kill Michael, you better make sure you kill him. Like in this timeline. Okay, Michael's dead. That way, 5 years later, when we get another Halloween movie, it's a totally different timeline, totally different character that Michael's chasing. But it's got to be done right. So what are your thoughts on the movies coming up?
So, Halloween Kills. We'll talk about my thoughts later on in Halloween 2018. But Halloween Kills, I'm really excited for it. As it keeps coming and we keep getting closer and closer, I'm so excited for it. I am looking forward to seeing how brutal it's going to be because people have said, and you just said, it's going to be brutal. It's going to be bloody. It's going to be dark. But I'm looking forward to seeing where all these other characters have been, like Lindsay Wallace, and Tommy Doyle, and Nurse Marilyn.
Marion.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes. Sorry, I mispronounced the name.
But man.
I'm looking forward to seeing how these characters have been affected by the night in 1978 because we got to see how Jamie Lee Curtis, Laurie Strode was in Halloween 2018. I'm looking forward to seeing where these characters have been, how they've been affected by it, and also we got Sheriff Brackett. He's coming back. I want to see, and I hope we get really good character-driven development from these characters. I hope they're not just thrown in there. Like, I want to see what's going to happen with them.
Well, he was just saying that he knows how it goes. It's going to be a great movie. We won't be disappointed. Yeah, that's what I've heard. The thing about Kills, I will say, guys, there are two things. One, I almost want to slap Kyle Richards and Anthony Michael Hall and be like, why are you guys still living in Haddonfield? So there's that. And also, I know for a fact from what I've been told, gosh, this sun is killing me. From what I've been told, this is more Judy Greer and Andy Matichak's movie. This is not Jamie Lee Curtis's movie. Jamie Lee is in it, but she's not the main character. And that, to me, I am totally okay with because I think that Andy Matichak is a great young up-and-coming actress.
Yes.
I love me some Judy Greer. I've always had a crush on Judy Greer. Love Judy Greer, so I want more development from her character. We did not get enough Karen. My favorite moment in 2018 is when she says, gotcha, and just shoots him. That was just, in the theater, I literally exclaimed. I was like, hell yes. That was incredible.
No, I agree. I'm looking forward to seeing them being the main focus of it. Halloween Ends. I'll give you my quick opinions on that because I know that was one of the questions or just what we were going to think about it. You talked about one of the characters dying. As much as I would hate this, they either have to kill off Michael, or they have to kill off both of them. I would hate if Laurie Strode died in this movie after all she's been through, especially with this new trilogy that we have. And I would hate for them to just kill her off and Michael walks away. So you either have to kill Michael Myers off or you have to kill both of them off.
Yep.
So
thanks for tuning in, Chris. We appreciate it.
Thank you. But you know what I mean? Like, for me, that's my only problem with it. Yeah.
I agree. Somebody's got to die. It's just got to happen. And my feeling is that, personally, I think it's going to be both of them. I think it's going to end in a way where Laurie sacrifices herself to take Michael down once and for all. That's how I think it's going to go. And honestly, I'm okay with that. Because
I'm okay with that too, yeah.
She's gotten away from him so many times. You can't just all of a sudden flip it on its head and go, oh, he finally got her. No, clearly Laurie is Michael Myers' match and vice versa. So they need to go out together. You just have to do it in a way that it's just got to make sense, and it's got to respect the fan base.
I agree. Yeah, and we'll see how it goes. I would honestly be happy. I mean, obviously, I'm always happy when we get a new Halloween movie. But if they said Halloween Ends was the last final one, which they've said that before, but if they said this was the final one, I'd be happy with it, because it's like, honestly, it's like, where do we go after Halloween Ends if this is the end of the Laurie Strode arc? Are we going to remake it again, or are we going to try to do another timeline? At one point, I know somebody talked about, or I even mentioned it, you know, if they want to go back and do erase what happened with Jamie Lloyd in Halloween 6, and maybe have Danielle Harris have her moment of a movie. I don't know. You know, kind of see what they would do with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Dennis, I've thought about making a video on this.
I got one.
I absolutely, positively think the things that Tony Moran said are abhorrent, repulsive, vile. I think he is a man that got his 5 seconds of fame and thinks that he can say and do whatever he wants because of that 5 seconds of fame. My opinion, people that use those type of words and say those types of things about people that look up to them, you shouldn't look up to them anymore. He deserves to not even get your breath at this point. So I don't know if I would make a video on it, because I don't want to give him any more spotlight and any more attention than he's already gotten. But I will say it's disgusting, and his apology was pathetic. At best, it was just him trying to make it to where he could still attend conventions. That's why he apologized. I have no respect for the man. None.
I don't either. The sad thing about it is, though, my sister, one year for Christmas, and this is so cool, and I'm like, I mean, obviously I'm gonna keep it, but it is a signed knife by Tony Moran. Like, she got it online. There's a picture of him signing it. But that was like 3 years ago. When I watched that video of him just acting the way he did and the language that he used, I was just so disappointed. I was upset. I was like, you know, people look up to you. They go to these conventions and pay money to meet you. And I was not happy. I'm still not happy with all of that. So, yeah.
All right, Justin, back on topic, guys.
Okay.
Now let's show our favorite edition of Halloween 4 that we own. You go first. Or at least if it's not near you, tell us what it is.
I have it. I actually have this one here. So it's the Halloween 4 Anchor Bay tin. Bam. Yeah. And I love this. Yeah, it's so cool. Like, I miss stuff like this. I miss old school Anchor Bay. It even has still has that insert.
Yep, I have that too.
Yeah, I love this, and I miss stuff like this. Like, this was so cool when they did stuff like this, and this is actually still available on Amazon. Like, from what I remember, $14.99. So if you want to grab it, pick it up, because I know that one's available.
Yep,
I love it.
That's my favorite edition of 4 as well. So here we go, guys. Now we're going to talk about my love, and that is Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. Justin, give us your thoughts when you first saw it, what you think about it now.
All right, so I first saw it. The reason why I wanted to see the movie in the first place was that cover right there. I love that cover, and I just remember seeing like him in the background, and like her kind of blending into the knife, and I was like, I really want to see this one. And of course, I had seen some Halloween movies before, but I saw Halloween 5 before I saw Halloween 4. So when I first watched it as a kid, I was like, okay, what's going on here? But after I got past like the first 5 minutes, I fell in love with it. And I would watch it over and over and over on my old VHS tape. I rebought a VHS tape like 18 years ago, but I remember that first time having it on VHS tape. My sister went and bought it for me. I was so happy. I think this is when Suncoast was still around, so she bought that Halloween 5 VHS tape, and just I remember falling in love with it. I still love it today. It's one of my favorites, and I think it gets a lot more hate than it deserves. I personally think it's an awesome movie, and I could see where people might have flaws with it, but I don't think it's like one of the worst Halloween movies.
Yeah.
So, okay,
So,
what's your thoughts?
For me, as I said at the beginning of the video, 5 was the first Halloween movie I saw on AMC Monster Fest, and I just remember as a kid the scene in the laundry chute, the scene in the attic. They scared the crap out of me as a child. And I absolutely loved it, and still to this day, I love the movie. It's in my top 5 in the series. It always will be. And I know it's not a popular opinion. It gets a ton of hate.
It does.
You know, Rachel should have lived longer than 20 minutes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
She deserves better than that.
Yeah.
But I don't hate Tina. She's your I think you saw a lot of 80s women characters like that in 80s horror movies.
Yes. I was going to say, I'm team Tina, by the way. I love Tina. I know people hate Tina. I love Tina. Yep. I love a lot of moments in this movie with her, like her final moments, like when it always gives me chills, like this moment here. Before she runs in the field to go after Daniel Harris, she screams outside, "Leave her alone!" and like just belts, screams that out. Like it gave me goosebumps, and it still does. I love that moment, and I'm always heartbroken when she knows the way to save Jamie is to sacrifice herself, and so she does it. And for me, that still is heartbreaking to see, because she knows she's gonna die, but she's gonna save somebody.
Real quick, Dennis, yes, the 30th anniversary commemorative set. I think Justin and I both own it. Yep. This was the first box set I ever got for the series. Absolutely love it.
Love it.
One of my old entertainment centers collapsed on it years ago, so it damaged it a little bit. But yep, the mask is still intact. Yeah. I love this.
I love this too. I mean, as one of my favorite sets, it's definitely one of my favorites. But yeah, going back to Halloween 5, I think you have fun characters in it. I love the barn scene. I think the barn scene's really cool. The way it was directed and lit was great. I have a lot of love for Halloween 5, like you do. I don't think it's one of the worst Halloween movies. If there's flaws in the movie, like you said, I really hate that Ellie Cornell, Rachel, dies 20 minutes into the movie. And that humor with the cops, it's not like, cut them out of the movie bad, but, it is out of place a little bit.
Maybe just get rid of the music.
Yes, maybe get rid of the music, that little clown music, yeah. But yeah, it's got great kills, and thank you so much. I appreciate it. But for me, I love it. Like you do, I love that movie.
What? You never got one?
What? You never got this?
Jeez.
Oh, that's sad. That's sad. I mean, this is a great edition of this movie. I honestly love this stuff.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I would assume that's out of print now. Like I know.
Oh, it goes for a lot of money.
Is it out of 40,000?
It's out of 20,000.
20,000. Okay.
Yeah, it's out of print. I remember going on eBay and if you want to use copy, it's like $70.
Oh, so. Yeah. I mean, Sean, I'm sure you could probably still get your hands on it, buying it.
But I can't believe they never gave that to you, Sean. Like, that's crazy. If you work on this, they never gave this to you. I still think this is awesome.
Yeah.
I love that.
It is awesome. And it's like, it hurt my heart when that entertainment center collapsed on it. And I was like,
I know.
no, what? It took out the plastic casing. So now I don't have plastic casing on it, which is meant to protect the mask. So from aging too much. Mine's like yellow now, but
is it really supposed to protect it that way? I had no idea.
I believe so. Sean, can you chime in real quick? Was that slip, isn't that to sort of protect the mask from aging too quickly? Because that's what I've always been told.
They only gave him the regular edition of Halloween. That's sad. I hate that. I mean, you worked hard on this and never got it. So
yeah, I think that's what the slide was for, was to, because with a mask like that, obviously they say it can kind of deteriorate and turn yellow as the years go on, and mine has turned yellow. It hasn't deteriorated or anything and fallen apart, but I think that's what that was for. But I don't know. I could just be spitballing. But
I think it's probably what it's for. I think that's exactly probably, and to keep like the box kind of like nice. I guess.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's my thoughts on 5. It is not a popular opinion at all to love Halloween.
We love
5,
it.
so.
Well, I might just have to do a standard review on it sometime. No. We might just have to do a whole video talking about Halloween 5.
So Sean is not sure. Yeah, see, neither am I. So let's just go with the. That's why, guys, because I have it on good authority that I came up with it in my head. So that's why. Anyway, I would love. We could do like a watch along sometime of that.
Yeah, that would be so cool.
Super fun. But yeah, here we go.
Would be so cool.
Favorite edition of Halloween 5. Now everyone's gonna want to say the tin can. I own the tin can, but I'm not going to do the tin can. I'm gonna do something else. But you go first.
So what do you? So I am going to. I'm trying to think. If there's anything I'm gonna have to say, because I mean we haven't got a steelbook yet of Halloween 5. So I'm gonna say the Anchor Bay tin. But the cool thing about this still is having the booklet, which this edition is out of print. Like, Halloween 4 tin you can get on Amazon. You cannot find this pretty much anywhere. Yep. But I love that I still have the book with it. Like,
that book looks incredible.
Yeah, I love it's so detailed. There's a lot of images in there. I absolutely love this edition. And I'm waiting for steelbooks for Halloween 4 and 5. I hope it happens.
Yeah, we need to get in touch with Anchor Bay. Sean, get in touch with Anchor Bay and tell them to quit dragging their knuckles and get these steelbooks out. So my 2 favorites, it's really hard for me to decide, honestly. But it's so cheesy, but I love the art. The UK DVD.
That's neat. I like that artwork, though.
And look how cheesy that back is, man. I mean, that is just.
Yes, but that's like nostalgia. I mean, that's just cool.
I mean, it's so I love the cheese with that, and then this, I believe this was the first DVD release Anchor Bay did of Halloween 5, and this is the one that
has like the information on the back of it
on the inside. I just thought that was so cool. It took me forever to track that one down. So yeah, those are some of my favorite editions. Yes, they do need 4Ks. Oh my god.
I used to have that DVD, and now I kick myself in the head for getting rid of it. But I have one of my first VHS tapes. Again, it's put away, but I still have that.
If they're out of business, maybe we need to hit up Shout Factory and find out. Hey,
I mean, it kind of just depends on who owns the rights now.
Yeah.
Does Lionsgate own the rights to it? I think Lionsgate still owns the rights, maybe.
Well, Trancas, I think Trancas, which would be Malik Akkad, as far as I believe, that would be Malik. I'm not entirely sure how all that works. I'm sure there are multiple entities with their hands in the pot, and to some degree. I know that's why, obviously, it took forever to get the Halloween 6 producer's cut, and that only happened because fans wouldn't stop clamoring for it. So, whoever owns the rights, Sean says Trancas. Yep, that's what I thought. Trancas owns 1, 4, and 5.
1, 4, and 5. Cool.
I mean, that's Malik. Honestly, it's probably just more about a business decision. Like, do you put the money into, make it and distribute it? Do you think they're gonna sell? I think they would. There are a ton of Halloween 4 fans. There's not as many 5 fans, but 4.
I'll buy 2 copies of a steelbook of Halloween 5, but that means we get it. No, I mean, but yeah, I love Halloween 5. Yeah. Awesome.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I know, right? That is like the DVD. That's the
DVD.
I thought I had it when I was a kid, and that's why I was like, what? I gotta find this. And I finally tracked it down on eBay a couple years ago. And some of these editions you buy, these older ones, these kind of deep cut ones, they can be a little worn, but they're cheap, and a lot of them are
I
just
mean,
out of, I don't know.
I might
They're
have
out of
to.
print now anyway. So
I might have to try to track that down again. I can't remember if I gave it to a friend. My sister might have needed the movie at some point. But I had that, and I remember for the longest time not like opening the artwork or anything, and it took me a while to notice that it actually had information in there. So yeah.
all right, guys, Halloween 6. This is going to be a fun one. We're going to
Yes.
talk about our feelings on it when we first saw it, our feelings on it now. You can you can compare and contrast the producer's cut and theatrical if you choose. And then we're going to
Yeah.
show our favorite editions that we own of it. So, Justin, go first. Halloween 6 as a whole.
So Halloween 6 as a whole. So talking about theatrical cut the first time I saw it, Halloween 6 was one of the last ones I saw. I saw it, I would say it was like 2004 when I saw it. Or 2003 or 2004. I remember going to Suncoast with my mom and buying like the Halloween VHS movies that we needed. We had like my mom had certain ones, but we still didn't have all of them. So Halloween 6, I remember that was one of the last ones that I saw. The current ones that we had at the time, and loving it. The one thing I do remember though, and this goes back before I even saw the movie, was going to a video store in when I lived in, and Halloween Curse of Michael Myers had just come out on VHS, and there was walls of just Halloween VHS tapes of the Curse of Michael Myers. And that is like a very small memory that I have, but seeing it for the first time, it was like 2003 on VHS. And I loved it. I loved it then. I know it has its problems. It's got some choppy moments and kind of editing, and there were problems behind the scenes of the movie. But I love the music. I like the whole rock kind of Halloween theme that we have in the movie. I love, again, we had the actor who played Michael Myers from Halloween 4 come back. Was it George Wilbur?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
George P.
Oh,
Wilbur.
thank you so much. Yeah, I love that he came back. That's really cool that they got him to come back and do it. I thought that was awesome.
I thought he was better in 6 than he was in 4, in my opinion.
I did too. The mask. I mean, even the mask. Yeah. I was going to talk about that. I love the mask. I guess like the only flaw, and I can't really blame this actress, but like I hate that Daniel Harris didn't come back. But that being said, I did not like how they killed off Jamie Lloyd the way they did in the theatrical cut. Yeah. I thought you have a character that you watch from 4 and 5, and you're just going to kill her off like they did, was upsetting. So if I had a flaw, like as far as like just being a fan goes, I would say that's my only flaw with Halloween: The Curse of Michael Myers. Yeah. And I still love the movie today. I love the theatrical cut a little bit more, but there are things about the producer's cut I do love. I like that when you watch the movies, they seem pretty much overall like two totally different films, from kills to the music. I mean, in the producer's cut, you have just the classic John Carpenter music, which is great, and I love that. I like that this movie, both cuts have like a great Halloween atmosphere to them. I feel like Halloween: The Curse of Michael Myers is one of the most underrated ones in the franchise. So, what are your thoughts? When did you first see it, and your thoughts today?
Halloween 6 was, by the way, I really appreciated hearing you talk about Halloween 6 the way you did. I think that you and I, one thing that always drew me to your channel was we have like such similar opinions and we agree on so much. So yeah. To piggyback off of what you said, it was the last Halloween movie I saw. I saw it when I was like 15. I watched it the first time and I was like, this is super weird. I didn't really understand it. Over the years, I have grown to absolutely love Halloween 6 for what it is.
Yeah, me
The
too.
one issue I have is we never got a perfect marriage between the producer's cut and the theatrical. I think the kills are better in the theatrical. I think that the not leaning too heavily into the cult stuff is a better choice, in my opinion, than full-fledged cult in the producer's cut. But I think the music in the producer's cut is better. I think some of the extended sequences in the producer's cut is better. I wanted a blend of those two, and I know fans have made like their own cuts where they put it together. So that's my only thing. Halloween 6, say what you will about Halloween 6, but I also prefer the theatrical cut, Brody, just like Justin does. Say what you will about Halloween 6. The atmosphere is incredible. The cinematography is great. I think the acting, Marianne Hagen as Kara, I think she does really well.
She does.
And there are 2 scenes in this movie that scared the crap out of me. When I first saw it, I was 15 years old. And the 2 kills that stuck with me were, one, when Beth is in the bedroom and Kara's across the street in the window, and she's like, he's right behind you. And it's in slow-mo, and you just get this distorted, like, wow, like noise as he's like slowly just going at her. That kill's one of my favorite in the franchise, because I think it's just so like visceral and memorable. And then
it is.
I absolutely love the scene in the hospital at the end with the strobe light.
That's so cool.
Crazy. So those are my thoughts on it. I've grown to appreciate it more as I've gotten older. I think it's right in the middle of the road for me in the series. Like, I do not dislike Halloween 6 at all. I really, really enjoy the movie.
I think if I had to rank it somewhere, and I have to go back and watch my old video. Let's see. Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
As I said, as Justin said, this is our first love. So we could talk about this for days.
I could talk about it. I mean, I've talked about it for years and years like you, and I still love talking to people about it, though. Like, it never gets old. I was gonna say, with Halloween 6, the kill that like creeps me out is when is it Kim Darby? She's the actress. The mom. Her death scene is just creepy. And it's like the idea of like the sheets hanging and like she's seeing Michael's shadow and you have the music going on. I think that's creepy. And when she looks at him and she goes, Michael, like she knows who he is. Like, it's so intense and so creepy. Like you said, death scene, that whole death is creepy. Even the boyfriend, Karen's, what's his name? I'm forgetting his name right now. Beth's boyfriend, the brother. I mean, his death is creepy, and it's just simple. It's like the lighting is just, what is his name? Like, I'm gonna have to look it up after this. But John. No. If somebody can like leave comments, let us know his name.
John is the dad, played by Bradford English, who was a great a-hole in the movie. He played a great a-hole, but no, I can't remember her brother.
I can't remember this. But his death, it's simple, but the lighting is perfect.
Yes, Phil.
Let's see.
He's just messing around.
But yeah, the lighting is just perfect in his death scene, like the fog from the shower. I mean, really things like that are just so good.
Halloween 6 gets a lot right. So I really
agree.
Enjoy it. But all right, guys, now it's time to show our favorite editions of Halloween 6 we own. Justin, the floor is yours. And while you show yours really quick, I'm going to just give 10 seconds. I'm going to go get my son out of his high chair. So
no problem.
Go ahead and show everybody watching what your favorite one is.
I think, so I don't have too many editions of it. I would say as far as like box sets go, I showed this off already. I mean, this set right here is really cool. Again, I can't remember what country it comes from, but this is really neat. And I'll show the inside of this. This is just Halloween up to Halloween Resurrection. I don't have too many editions of Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers. I do have Tim Strode. Thank you. Yeah. I do have my VHS. Again, it's put away right now. I have that. I have, of course, this right here. This that came from the box set. I love that you get both the theatrical and producer's cut. But this is really neat. I mean, like opening it up, like that reflection's not the greatest, but you kind of flip through it and it's got just different editions. So like Halloween 3 right here, they don't even put the pumpkins. They put Michael Myers. But yeah, I don't have too many editions of Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers, but the ones I do have, like I said, the VHS tape, I have it put away. I love that. Memories with it. That's the one that me and my mom bought, and I kept it because she was going to get rid of all of them. And I said, well, I will take them from you. So those are some of the ones I have. What are some editions that you love?
So this Walmart exclusive, I believe it's a Walmart exclusive. The Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers.
Oh, yeah.
Retro, looks like a VHS at a movie store.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah,
that's neat.
It's actually the producer's cut. And I've never opened it because I was like, this is just such a cool edition. And I have the producer's cut Blu-ray, so I'm like, I don't need to watch it, but I just had to get it because of how it looked.
Yes.
And this I got when I was 13 for Christmas one year. My mom tracked it down on eBay. This is the struggle of Halloween fans, 15 years ago. The producer's cut.
I had that, yeah.
Yes, before it was officially released. And the coolest thing about this, although the transfer is absolutely awful, obviously, you got special features.
That's cool.
Set footage. There's behind making of. There's an Entertainment Tonight featurette. That was the first special features I had seen of Halloween 6 when I was a teenager. So love those two editions.
I had that. Not that producer's cut, but I had a producer's cut, and it's so crazy. Now we have a Blu-ray of it, but back then it's like if you wanted to track down the producer's cut, you had to go on eBay to try to find one. Yeah. But I had a producer's cut that my sister got on eBay for me. I gave it to a buddy of mine. He has it, but yeah, I remember getting the producer's cut for the first time and thinking this is so cool because this is way before we had the Blu-ray of it. So, but that Walmart edition, real quick, I will say, like it now goes. I think Halloween 6 is like just out of print altogether. So I looked that up one day because I was gonna go buy it online. It goes for like $69 for a used copy. So that's really cool. Something so cool and just like really neat to have. You would have thought would go that much in price.
No, I bought it for $5, Justin.
Yeah, I should have bought it when I saw it and I didn't. So
well, maybe I'll track one down for you and send it to you. Maybe I will.
If you find one, I would appreciate that. We'll do a trade or something. So
no problem. All right, guys, That's Halloween 6. Now we're gonna get into one that Justin loves. I am mixed on. Justin is rocking the T-shirt, as you can see.
H2o.
We're going to talk about 1998's Halloween H2o. Justin, when you first saw it, what'd you think? What do you think now?
Okay, so when I first saw it, this was a really cool memory I have. I wanted to see it in theaters. Obviously, I was too young, so I was bummed out by that. I remember seeing the trailer, and I was like, I really want to go see this. Did not see it in theaters, obviously, but I have the memory of my mom buying us the Halloween H2o VHS tape for Christmas. And we watched it, not on Christmas Day, but somewhere around there we watched it and loving it right away. Thinking about some memories that I have and things that I still love now. I love the fact that we had Laurie Strode come back. I mean, Jamie Lee Curtis came back. We had not seen her since Halloween 2. I overall really love the characters. I think there's some very likable characters in the movie. I love the opening. I think it's one of the best openings. Again, just kind of like the first 10 minutes or 15 minutes in general, I love. You have Marion Chambers coming back, the nurse. I love that. I love the opening. I like the music. I like how you're seeing like the newspapers and kind of like almost like a timeline of what was going on. I love that. And of course, the ending. Like when we first watched the movie, all our mouths dropped. My mom's mouth dropped because she is a big fan of Halloween. That's one of our passions that we have is the Halloween franchise, but she still today loves H2o like I do. I would say, I still love it today if I had problems with it because it does have flaws. It does have flaws with it. I would say you definitely, especially when you watch it over and over, you notice the mask changing, which that's a flaw. All the different masks you kind of see throughout it. The CGI mask, which I'm like, why did they not just reshoot it? I watched the documentary. I understand for budget, they just wanted to put a CGI mask over the actual mask. Trying to think. I wish this movie was a little bit longer. It's 85 minutes long. Not bad, but there could have been a little bit more. But overall, I love it. Like, I still love it today. I still have some of the same feelings I had when I first saw it. I love the last 30 minutes with Jamie Lee Curtis and Laurie Strode and Michael Myers coming head to head, and she's finally ready to face the man, her brother, that has haunted her for so long. And I love that. And then real quick, another flaw. I mean, I understand that they were going in a different direction by erasing 4 through 6. But being that I am such a big fan of 4, especially like the character Jamie Lloyd, I hated that they kind of just erased that character and acted like she never existed. So anyway, those are my overall flaws, or not overall thoughts. Sorry, overall thoughts. What are your thoughts?
So when I first saw H2O, I loved it. And we're getting some comments in the chat right now. People saying they don't like it. It's overrated.
Yeah, it's understandable.
Yeah, I loved it when I first saw it. As the years went on, my love for it started to wane because I ended up just really becoming more of a fan of the ones I saw as a kid, the 80s ones, those ones are the ones I like. I also hated that they got rid of Danielle Harris. I don't like that. Like you said, it's short. My biggest problem is that it was clearly just Dimension saying Scream worked, so let's just make Scream but put Michael Myers in there. So but again, having said that, I enjoy H2O. I don't think it's a bad movie. Actually, technically speaking, it's one of the most well-made movies in the series. I think it's acted incredibly well. I still think the climax in that movie, from the point that Laurie breaks open that the glass and gets the axe and just yells, "Michael," and she's like, finally the tables have turned. I'm coming for him. That's one of the best sequences in the franchise.
Yes.
H2O for me is a movie that doesn't have as much sentimental value, so it never really got too high in my ranking. But I will say, I think it is, technically speaking, one of the better movies in the series. But for me personally, it's one that I watch it every October. But I don't know. It's a mixed bag for me. It's a mixed bag.
I see a lot of people's points, and I see your points on this thing. I mean, like the idea that Scream came out and they were going to use a lot of influences from Scream into this movie. Yeah, I could see where that could be a problem. I mean, like the Scream music in the movie, it's like, you used it from Scream. It's the same score. But again, I think for me, it's like, when it comes down to it, I think it's like the sentimental value that I have with this movie and still loving it today. Memories that I have. And, for me, let's see, H2O is better than it is better. Yes, it is. But to me, it ranks like top 4 in the franchise, Halloween H2O. So
yeah, and again, I totally know why, and I totally understand and appreciate why. I just don't think. Oh my goodness. Hey, I actually take that as a compliment because I love both of those guys.
I do too.
And if I could ever get on a stream with one of them or do some content, I've talked to Lee before. He's a super nice guy, and he takes the time to pretty much reply to anybody. I've never talked to Cody, but I love his content. So they're both awesome dudes. So I appreciate that. I do. Yeah. So I'm assuming you're Cody because of the facial hair and everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
But all right, now let's show off our favorite editions of H2O.
Which I don't have.
You're up to bat.
Oh, so again, I should have pulled out the VHS tapes because I still have, I think it's the very first Halloween H2O or one of the first. I think we had to re-buy Halloween H2O on VHS, but I still have it. It's put away. I got that. Trying to think as far as H2O goes. Again, I can't. I don't have too many like awesome editions of that movie. Again, I'm just gonna like reference this because I like the fact that we finally had a documentary on the movie. I thought that was cool. I don't have them anymore, but it's just the charm of it. You probably have them, but like the Mill Creek Blu-rays. I love the fact that that was the first time we had those Mill Creek Blu-rays. Yes. So I remember getting that and I was so excited because it was like the first time we had it on Blu-ray. But I have my VHS. It's put away. I'll never get rid of the VHS tapes. I have a lot of memories with those. I still have a lot of awesome editions of Halloween. So, but yeah, I will get a steelbook of Halloween H2O if they ever do it. But you never know.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm in agreement with you. My favorite edition I own is in this bad boy right here, the complete collection box set. That's the best edition. Has the best special features, best transfer. So that's my favorite edition of H2O that I own.
Yeah, same here.
And now we are going to talk about one that Justin has a soft spot for.
I have a little bit of a soft spot. Yeah.
One that I can't lie, I do have fun when I watch it. It's Michael Myers, but that one we're going to talk about is Halloween Resurrection from 2002. Justin showed it. That's what we're talking about. Justin, first thoughts on it? What you think now?
Okay, so first thoughts on it. I didn't see it in theaters, but I remember going to the movies and seeing this poster and going, yes, I'm ready for this, because obviously big Halloween fan, and as a kid watched them a lot, and I loved H2O. Still love it today, but yeah, I watched H2O and I'm like, we got a new Michael Myers movie. Jamie Lee Curtis is coming back. And I remember hearing rumors. Friends of mine went to go see it. They were like, they killed off Laurie Strode. And I'm like, no, they didn't. You can't tell me that. And they were like, yeah, they did. And I did not believe them. I was like, this is just rumors that you guys are seeing. Maybe you didn't really see this. I don't know. But when I first saw it, the first 10 minutes, it still breaks my heart. I did not, and I still don't like the fact that they killed off Laurie Strode the way they did. I don't like, especially her being such a strong character in this movie, her going to the character that they wrote for her in this. I don't like the first 10 minutes. Afterwards, though, and I still like a lot of these same elements, I like the fact that they go back. It's like Scary Movie to Scream. It's true though. I still have the same feelings pretty much like I did the first time. The poster is better than the movie. It is. But I like the fact you go back to the Myers house. I like, overall, not all the characters, but I like the lead actress in the movie. I think her character's name was Sarah. I do like Sarah. I think if they were going to continue off, with Halloween Resurrection and make a Halloween 9, I would not have problems if they brought her back. It has flaws. Buster Rhymes, I'm not huge on in this movie. I don't know why they wrote some of the stuff that they did for him. Like, some of the comedy I'm not a fan of. I just overall think that this movie is like one of those films that if you want like just a random fun horror movie or a random fun Halloween film to put on, and say if you watch it around October, it's a good time. It's like I'll describe it like this. It's like the candy corn of the Halloween franchise. It's just fun, in my opinion. It's my least favorite of the franchise, but I do enjoy it and I still have a good time with it. So, yeah, it has flaws though. It's not a perfect movie. It's my least favorite, but I do have a soft spot for it. Yeah, what's your thoughts?
So when I first saw Resurrection, believe it or not, I actually really liked it. And then as the years went on, I didn't so much because I hated the way they killed off Laurie.
Yeah.
Because there is no way Laurie would have been that dumb to go check it, to pull his mask
Yeah.
out. Like, there's just no way. I know they were doing it because, H2O. Yeah, this is different, though. Michael was literally just chasing her. It's obviously Michael. Like,
Yeah.
I don't like, I love the rendition of the theme, though. I love the rendition of this movie.
Yeah.
After the first 15 minutes, it's just very hard for me to get into. I think Bianca Kylick did a good job. I don't care for her college friends. They were just cannon fodder, there to die. Busta Rhymes is what he is. I just, maybe he's a great musician. I've never listened to his music, but as an actor, not for me. And I think that the big knock and hang up for me with Halloween Resurrection is I can't get behind the idea that Michael's whole purpose for coming back was now fulfilled. So what? He just goes home and just was going to sleep in the cavern under his house and just kill random people. I can't get behind it. I know why they made the sequel. They were capitalizing on found footage and stuff like that. But in my opinion, man, it is my least favorite. I have not watched Resurrection in probably 2 Halloweens, honestly. And part of that is because it is hard to find the time sometimes to watch all the movies because I do work full time. But also, it is my least favorite. If somebody likes Resurrection, I will never, ever tell you you're this or that for liking that movie. That is your opinion, and you are totally entitled to it. It does have fun moments. It does have some cool kills. And it's just always nice to see Michael Myers. I mean, it just always is. So
I think the guy who played Michael Myers, I like the guy who played Michael Myers. Super cool, nice guy. Yeah. I think he did a great job. I think the mask looks great. I like the mask.
No.
I can't say that. But we will talk about Rob's films, though, because I do have some different opinions on him.
I do not agree, Drew. Not agree at all. No.
Which I can't say for the entire trilogy. I mean, I think that Halloween Resurrection is a fun movie. It's not a perfect movie. It has a lot of flaws. It's my least favorite of the franchise. But I can watch it whenever I do and enjoy it. So, again, I call it the candy corn of the Halloween franchise. It's fun.
So my favorite edition of it that I own is in the box set. I think that's the best transfer, best case, best disc art. So, box set for me.
Yeah, same here. I have a VHS tape of it, but, I mean, I think the best edition is this one right here. So,
all right, Drew. Let me see. Hey, I totally respect it, man. I do. I get it. Everybody has their flavor. That it is. I
love them.
I love the Thorn trilogy. I think part of the reason I love it so much is because it's just my childhood. So, like I said, I can't watch. I can't look at Halloween 5 objectively and be like, this movie is Oscar worthy. Like, no, obviously. Yeah. But I don't know. It's just sentimental to me. So
I think it's sentimental, and I also love the 80s Halloween movies that we had. It has an 80s feel that I love. I mean, it came out in the 80s, but I love the feel of it. So.
Yep. And then Drew says he's a Tutti Frutti kind of guy. Tutti Frutti.
Bam. Devil's Rejects.
Yep. So now we're going to talk about the favorite ones for people. Rob Zombie's Halloween. Yes, Justin. First thoughts on it? Your thoughts on it now.
Okay, so this was the first Halloween movie I saw in theaters. The theatrical cut, obviously. But yeah, I saw it. It was the first Halloween movie I saw in theaters, and I have just the best all-time memories seeing that in theaters, loving it. I know it has hate, but when I first saw it, I loved every minute of it. I think it was the sentimental value that I have looking back on it, seeing it in theaters. So many things that I think that are pros over cons. I think the pros, I think Scout Taylor Compton as Laurie Strode, great. Love her. I love the fact that there's that little nod to bring Danielle Harris back as Annie Brackett. Love it. Tyler Mane as Michael Myers. One of the best Michael Myers. The music is great. I thought Malcolm McDowell did a great job in the movie. So my first initial thoughts with it, when I first saw it, I loved it. And I will always love the memories seeing this in theaters, being it the first Halloween movie I saw in theaters. So now today, though, I would say I don't love it as much now. I think it's a film that I still really enjoy. However, over the years, it does have its flaws, and I'm seeing it. The first half of the movie is my least favorite part of it. I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm not a big fan, but I think if anything kind of is a little bit outdated, it's the first half of it. The first half is outdated. The way that Rob Zombie approached it. I had no problems with expanding Michael Myers' background as a kid. I just don't like the overall first half of that film. I think it's a little over the top sometimes. But I still love the last half of it. I think the last half is great. When we get to Laurie Strode and her friends, I think that part is great. I love a lot of the stuff in the insane asylum. I think that stuff's cool. We got to see all of that, and that kind of expanded. I don't think it deserves the hate it gets. I don't think it's a terrible movie. I will still defend this movie because I don't think this is a bad movie. But it is a film over time that I do have problems with, and I see them.
Yep.
Your opinion.
So really quick, Drew, this comment about Tyler Mane only bested by Nick Castle. This is going to be an unpopular opinion, and this might give me some hate. I think Tyler Mane's the best Michael. And I absolutely love Nick Castle. And it is very hard for me. But I really do think that Tyler Mane encapsulated what Michael Myers is. Michael Myers is a force of nature, and Tyler Mane was a force of nature in those two movies. Just looking at him, you would never think you'd be able to stop this guy. Because he's just unstoppable. Junie from Spy Kids, yes. I do think that it's underrated. I
think it's underrated,
you love it. Yeah, I know. I'm saying, I think that Tyler Mane is just, I think he's awesome. But so my opinion, Rob Zombie's Halloween. The first one I saw in theaters as well. Marcus, by the way, I saw your comments about how it's very vulgar. Yes, it is very vulgar. That is something that, over the years, as I got older, I'm kind of like, I could do without some of that.
That's my problem.
Justin, you and I agree completely. I saw it in the theater, absolutely loved it. I left the theater, watched it again when it came out, bought it, and over the years, I have soured on it a little bit because the first 30 minutes, I appreciate Rob doing something new because we'd seen the same thing for 8 movies pretty much. So it's like, let's give us something new. I respect it. I just don't care much for it. Once he's in the sanitarium, that's when the movie really kicks off for me. I love Scout Taylor Compton. I've never really openly talked about this to people, but I had the biggest crush on her when I was a teenager. She was number one on my list of celebrity crushes. Absolutely loved her, and she is beautiful even in now. I don't know. I follow her on Instagram. She seems like she's in a great place in her life. She looks great. She's doing well. Love Scout. I thought she did great as Laurie. I hate that she gets hate from some people for that. Malcolm McDowell's fantastic as Loomis. Brad Dourif, fantastic as Brad.
Yes, I forgot Brad. Yeah, I love Brad.
And Danielle Harris coming back. The fact that she was, I believe, 31 when they filmed it, and she was playing a 17-year-old, and she looked 17.
It was believable.
Yeah.
It was believable.
I agree with every point you made. I mean, I think that it's when you get to the second half of the movie, it is one of the more well-made remakes out there. The music is great. The kills are great. The cinematography is great. The acting's great. I really, really dig it. It's not one of my favorites anymore because it has, the first half hour or so really drag it down for me.
Yeah.
But I really enjoy the movie, and I can pop that movie in and just have a freaking blast. I
I
love
have a blast with it. Yeah, I'm with you. I have a blast with the movie still today. I can't believe it's what going to be 14 years old. I think 14 years old.
Yeah, it'll be 14. Yep, in
I
August.
can't believe that because I still remember. It feels like yesterday that I saw it in theaters. Like for me, yeah, that's crazy.
Yep.
But we see eye to eye with this one.
Iconic in her role, but Scout has everything she doesn't for me. Depth, character. Yeah, I mean, see, here's the thing.
I love Scout.
Yeah, and I totally agree. I think that here's the thing though, Drew. I would say to that, back in '78, Lori probably was relatable for a lot of teenage girls.
Yeah.
Now, Scout's version of Lori was more relatable for teenagers in today's day and age. So that's why I think we feel that way about Scout. But yeah, Scout was fantastic. I can't wait to talk about the next movie because that one's going to be fun. But yeah, I absolutely love Scout. Loved it.
You want to know my first memory with Scout Taylor Compton was after seeing Halloween, and I think remember MySpace, how big that was back then.
Oh yeah.
I had a MySpace. I had her as a friend on MySpace, and you can send an address, and she would send you fan mail, like an autographed picture. I still have the autographed picture put away. I remember that was my first kind of moment with Scout, was like, sending my address in and getting fan mail from her. And she said, thanks for being a fan. And this was like right after Halloween. So little things like that I remember. So I love Scout Taylor Compton, and I loved her as Laurie Strode. I still love her as Laurie Strode.
Yep. All right, Justin, what's your favorite edition of Rob Zombie's Halloween?
So I got two of them. So we got this right here, which I'll save the other one for when we talk about Halloween 2. But I have the Steelbook of Rob Zombie's Halloween. This is awesome. I wish that it was the theatrical cut because I'm more of a fan of the theatrical cut. But the artwork is awesome. I love the back. I love the front. The inside's really cool. I just love this. So this is really neat. I love this edition. So how about you?
Bingo. Same.
Bam. Two minds think alike.
Yeah, it's my favorite edition. I think it's the best looking.
Yes.
And that 4.5-hour documentary, Michael Lives,
love it.
It is fantastic to see that movie from pre-production all the way to its premiere every day on set. That was an incredible documentary. Love that.
Yes.
I agree with you about the theatrical. And it's really just the breakout scene for me. That's the only scene that drags it down. I prefer the unrated because of all the extended 15 minutes in the second half of the movie. But it is that one scene that I wish he would have never included that in the unrated. I don't care for the breakout scene at all. But I mean, that's Rob.
That's my only problem with it.
Yeah, but I mean, that's my favorite edition too.
Rob, it's Rob.
So
awesome,
guys. Here we go. Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, the one that everybody loves to hate.
Bam.
If Resurrection isn't your least favorite for most people, it's this one. Just your first thoughts on it and how you feel now.
All right. So again, I saw this opening night when it came out. I was so excited because at that point I really loved the first Rob Zombie's Halloween. So I was really excited for this. So I saw it opening night with a group of friends. For Rob Zombie's is my second favorite of the franchise. Respect there. I have so much respect.
Me too.
When I first saw it, I loved it. I think I love the look of it. I think it has a great look. I don't have problems with the White Horse story with Sherry Moon. I know people have problems with it, but I don't. Especially listening to the Rob Zombie commentary, it makes sense. I remember loving the hospital stuff. I thought, because the trailer made you think that a lot of this movie was going to take place in a hospital. So I love the fact that they kind of threw you off that 15 minutes later or 20 minutes later, they kind of strayed away from the hospital setting, but I like that you have the hospital setting in there. Once again, I think Tyler Mane, I think he even gave more of a darker and more brutal performance in this as Michael Myers. Overall, really like the characters. I know some people don't like the characters, like the new characters, but I think some of her friends were likable. The blonde Bree Grant, I liked her as a character. I still get teary eyed, and this is a spoiler if no one's ever seen it, but I still get teary eyed when Daniel Harris, Annie Brackett dies. That music was so just moving when Laurie finds her on the ground, and I get teary eyed with it. I got teary eyed when I saw it in theaters, and I still get teary eyed. I pretty much love everything that I loved the first time, but I have to say, years later, I love it even more. I think it gets better each time I watch it. And for me, it ranks high up there in the Halloween franchise. Not top 5, but maybe like number 6, maybe. I think this movie gets too much hate. I think this is a lot better than people make it out to be.
All right, Drew. Well, I love this comment. I absolutely love this comment. And then Evan, some more love for Rob Zombie's Halloween too. Yep, totally agree.
I love Halloween too.
Also, my brother Blake chimed in the chat, and I'm not even going to address that because he's just being a clown and saying dumb stuff. So ignore him. Yes. All right. My thoughts when I first saw it. I was more hyped for this movie than I think I ever had been for a movie at that point in time. I saw it in theaters, and I walked out. I saw it with a group of 3 other friends, and I was like, I love that. And they were all like, eh. One of them was like, it was stupid. And I was like, I love that movie. I literally skipped school the day it came out on DVD and went to Movie Gallery and bought it. And I can't tell you I can't put into words how much I love this movie. And for anybody watching this right now that isn't a fan of this movie, hear me out for a second. Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 is a fantastic character study on trauma.
It is.
And how it affects you. And Rob Zombie has always been a guy that leans into realism. And this movie is incredibly realistic with the tone, the character arc of all these characters. It is a beautiful tragedy. This movie is. Yeah. Laurie is so disturbed from what happened to her. Her character, people always say, oh, I hated her in this movie. You know, she was totally different and she was mean. And I'm like, yeah, I would be too. I think she's a little affected. Danielle Harris, Annie, and her development, absolutely the same way. They hate each other because looking at each other makes them remember what happened to them. I just can't, I can't get into that enough. I love Brad Dourif does even better in this movie. He is incredible in this movie. The scene where Annie dies and you only see it in snippets actually made me jump in the theater because you get Laurie walking through the house and then it's just cutting like real quick snippet of Danielle running and then it's back to Laurie walking through the house and it's just cutting back and forth and it's just so brutal. And then you get to the reveal and there are times still where I tear up when Laurie finds her and basically, you know, is like apologizing to her and like saying, you know, like, don't die, like, don't leave me, like, you're all I have. And that scene right there, if you don't think Scout Taylor Compton is a good actress, I don't know what to tell you at this point because she is fantastic in that scene. And then when Brad Dourif finds her, oh
my gosh,
this movie is what I think this movie does trauma and emotion better than any Halloween movie, period. I just think it does.
It does. As much as
go ahead.
No, I interrupted you. What were you gonna say?
I just think that I don't know. I just think that no Halloween movie had the guts to do what this one did, which was subvert your expectations. You have the first 15 minutes and you think it's formulaic Halloween in the hospital, blah blah blah, and then it's like completely different. And no other Halloween movie had the guts to do that. And this movie did that. But the acting's incredible. The kills are incredible. The realism is off the charts. What do you have there? Give me that. Give me that. That's Mama's. The realism is off the charts, and
Yeah.
I just cannot say enough. The movie was shot on 16 millimeter. It looks incredible. It's acted incredible. The atmosphere, it oozes fall. It's not even really Halloween. It just feels like fall.
It does.
Like,
Yeah.
I love this movie, guys. There's never going to be anybody that's going to get me to back down off my love for this movie. It's my second favorite in the series as well. The original gets the edge over it because it's the original. It's it's the blueprint.
Yeah.
But my gosh, I could go on all day about this movie, but I just think it is absolutely fantastic.
I have just respect for you in general, but the fact that like you love this movie, like some of the comments people are saying as well, I love it too. I don't think I think it's one of the best. I love this. So I love the comment. I wish Halloween 2 2009 had a documentary. I wish it did too. It was so disappointing that we did not get a Halloween 2 documentary like we did with the first one. That would have been really cool because it's one of my favorites in the franchise. I love it. I love this movie. I don't really have too many flaws. I think when I first saw it, I wasn't too crazy about the direction that they went with Dr. Loomis and how he was a little bit more bitter. But everybody deals with things differently. That moment, and it's a small moment, when he's at the bookstore and people in the town have just been affected, and you see Linda's dad confront him. Even little things like that. Rob is really good. I know people have a problem with like characters that he writes, but in this movie, the characters are written so well, and I love the characters. Even the small characters I love.
This is Rob Zombie's best film. This is peak Rob Zombie. He got the characters right. He got the kills right. He got the cinematography right. He just got it right. I mean, this is the best movie. Well, the funny thing about this comment and what you said, Justin, and for anybody that doesn't know this, there was one.
I think
Rob Zombie has opened up about it and said that they filmed 8 hours of footage for a behind-the-scenes documentary. It was going to be like twice as long as Michael Lives, the 4-hour one. He said the footage exists still. He says it was not allowed to be released and probably will never see the light of day because the entire time during the production, the Weinstein Company was arguing with Rob Zombie on set every day, not liking what he was doing, saying, don't do this, don't do that. They were at odds the entire time, and the Weinstein Company does not want that footage out, although now they're pretty much dissolved, so we'll see if we ever get it. But because they were afraid it would make them look bad for trying to basically control Rob's movie. So Rob opened up about that in an interview years ago and said, we made a documentary. It was going to be longer than the first one, but if you would have watched it, you would have looked at it and been like, wow, the Weinstein Company was really trying to screw Rob Zombie over. And
I was hearing that, yeah.
Yeah, so I would love to see that come to light one day. Absolutely love it.
You know what? I don't know who is going to watch this video. Maybe somebody who like owns it. I don't know. But wouldn't it be neat if like just a video like this had somebody hear how much we love this and want to see this documentary and release it like as like a just like something for the fans, like maybe Indiegogo, like get like a petition to release just the documentary. Or we have Shudder now, and Shudder releases like stuff on their streaming and Blu-ray and DVD. Get the documentary out there somehow. That would be so cool. I would love to see it. I remember hearing about that, and I was gonna mention it, but yeah, I remember hearing all that stuff. I remember Rob had a documentary ready to go, and a lot of the Weinsteins bumped in, and it just was not a good experience for Rob.
Yeah, and it's no secret. That's the one downfall with Halloween 2, that no matter what edition you get, there's just hardly any special features because, and that is on purpose because Rob was at odds with the producers the entire time that they didn't want to show any behind the scenes stuff because if you watch some videos of interviews with Rob Zombie over the years since then, he's been open about it and been like, oh, they hated what I was doing. They hated what he was doing. And I love him for doing it because we got probably the most original Halloween movie since the original.
I do too. I like the nightmare imagery. I like that. Laurie Strode's nightmares. I like the design, the look of it. Yeah, I know that Rob had a hard time with this. I remember like Rob saying the Weinsteins were showing me my first movie and saying, do what you did here. And it's like, dude, let him do what he wants. Like, you already had that movie. He's doing what he wants. And
that's the one thing I don't understand about the fan base, and I've talked about this before, is that the fan base got upset that Rob Zombie remade Halloween. And then when he goes to Halloween 2 and doesn't remake Halloween 2, they're upset that he didn't remake Halloween 2 because they go, I thought the whole movie was going to be in the hospital. It's like, well, what do you want? Yeah. You didn't like that he remade the first one, but you wanted him to remake the second one? It just, I just don't get it. But I could go on all day. So, Justin, let's talk about our favorite editions.
All right. So I have a few. Well, I have two of them, but I forgot to show this Rob Zombie first Halloween edition. So this is that Blu-ray with the documentary and everything, but it's signed by Scout Taylor Compton. So very cool there. Love it. Then she signed the first Blu-ray that came out of Halloween 2. I love that. I have memories like, and you know this, and a lot of people do, trying to track down the theatrical cut on DVD was like the hardest because all you could find at Walmart or any local stores was the director's cut. But I have this signed by Scout Taylor Compton. My favorite thing I own, though, is the double feature of the theatrical cuts of Halloween and Halloween 2. This is a Canadian release. But I love this because I am more of a fan of the theatrical cuts. So this is like my go-to Blu-ray I watch. You got it too. And I love this. Inside real quick, and I keep movie tickets for some of the films I see. I have my movie tickets for the first Halloween and Halloween 2.
Halloween 2.
Bam. I have, yeah. I keep these and they're great memories that I'm always going to have. So,
I would say that's what I'm saying. We do a lot of very similar things. I keep movie tickets to movies I love too. That was the first movie ticket I ever kept, was Halloween 2. Yep. Still have it.
I love this Blu-ray though.
Yes. And that is an awesome Blu-ray because it's the only Blu-ray I think you can get with the theatrical cut on Blu-ray. So,
yeah. And it's a shame we don't have like when Scream Factory did their box set, I know they probably were like, these are brand new movies. We don't have to do anything for them. But I would love like collector's editions of Rob Zombie's Halloween and Halloween 2, both cuts of the movies on them, brand new features. That would be really cool to get those. Somebody do it. That would be awesome.
For me, I have the European, I believe it's German, DVD of Halloween 2.
I love that.
And it has like the rain effect on it, as you can see, which I think is really cool. And then this art, I think the art's just better for all these.
That's just so cool.
And this actually is region locked. I need to get a region free player because this actually has some special features on it. It's got
so neat.
It has audition footage, makeup test footage, interviews on set, and footage from the premiere. So
that's so cool.
Yeah, I need to get a region-free player because I'd love to watch that. And then Marcus earlier asked about my most valuable item in my collection, and I said I'd get to it, and it's this, the German Blu-ray of Rob Zombie's Halloween 2.
That is awesome.
And again, like I said, they just get the art right always. And then so this is a slip cover, and when you open it, it is him in the shack.
Oh, that's so sweet, Nick.
And then on the inside, you get 2 postcards from Halloween 2
cool.
that I will never, ever use.
No.
But this edition was $50. And it was worth it because, and like I said, I have got to get a region-free player. Christian gives me enough crap about it. But yeah, this is my most prized possession, is this. And I plan on meeting Scout one day. I'd love to get Scout and Danielle to sign that.
That would be so cool. I love that edition. I remember you showed that off in several videos, but like
Dennis,
a
you are
recent one.
German, so I don't know what all that says. So he knows what that says.
No.
I don't know
But
what that says.
That's an awesome Blu-ray you have. So
Oh,
I just
Doug.
hi Doug, what's up? Brian and I are watching you all from the car as we order chicken. Oh, that's one of my favorite foods is chicken. Chicken fingers, I can eat them.
I got that Halloween 2 German DVD from eBay. Or no, maybe it was Amazon, European Amazon. I don't know which one. Yeah, I think it was that actually. So you can change the like where you're ordering from on Amazon. Like you can change the country, and I did that, and it takes longer to get here. But that's what I did because I had to have it. So, all right, guys. Now the last movie in the series to wrap up our chat tonight. We're going to talk about. Obviously, we already talked about our anticipation for Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends, so we won't address that anymore. I'm thinking of something for this October. I think maybe. Just depending on how Justin feels, because I like these streams. I want to keep doing them.
Me too.
Maybe we tag along and we go see Halloween Kills together. I'm sure he was going to see it with Doug and some people. Maybe we get together and we all go see it, and then maybe afterwards we talk about it.
That would be cool.
Well, let's try to make that happen. Each other, so that would be a cool idea. But until then, let's talk about Halloween 2018. Justin has some very interesting feelings and thoughts on this movie. So, Justin, I'll let you go first.
Okay, so I just want to say, before I even talk about it, I do not hate this movie. I do like this movie, and actually, I like it more and more each time I watch it. My first time I saw Halloween 2018, I was so hyped up for this movie because, I said in the beginning of the video, I didn't like initially that they erased Halloween 2. But as the trailers were coming, as I was seeing things promoted, and the fact that Jamie Lee Curtis was coming back as Laurie Strode, I was so hyped up. Now, I don't know if it was my theater experience the first time I saw this movie, or if it was just the movie in general, but I liked the movie when I first saw it. I did not love it though. I did not like the comedy. I feel it's a little off at times. I'm not a big fan of the comedy. A lot of the side characters besides our main characters in the movie, I felt were just there to be killed off. They didn't get developed. A lot of Allison's friends in the movie, I felt like they weren't written well and they were just there to be killed off. It's not a film that it's like I can't pinpoint like awful things about it because I do like the film. I just think for me, it's a good Halloween movie. It doesn't do anything to like really up things, if that makes sense, in my opinion. Things I love though, and things I still love today. I love I love Jamie Lee Curtis. I love she came back. I overall love her performance in this. I love James Jude Courtney as Michael Myers. I think he's one of the best in the franchise. He's a super nice guy too. I've met him. I know some people don't like Judy Greer. I like Judy Greer in this movie. I think we're gonna get a lot more of her in the next movie, and I'm really excited about that. I like the character of Allison. I overall love that character. Love that John Carpenter's back in the franchise again. And his music's incredible. I have the soundtrack right here. I love the soundtrack. Love it so much. And I listen to this quite a bit. So my initial thoughts today, it does get better with each viewing. It's not one of my favorites in the series. I hate to say this. I still rank it somewhat low. But it gets better with each viewing. And we talked about this already. I am really excited for Halloween Kills. So, yeah.
Yep. So going through the comments, Evan, my opinion on Halloween 2018 is reversed. I saw it opening night and I was underwhelmed. I didn't know what to expect. I guess my expectations were a little bit too high going into it. I walked out and I was like, that movie was super well made, but I didn't know how to feel. I saw it 3 times in theaters, and by the 3rd time, I knew where I felt. It is middle of the road for me in the series as well. Near the top half, closer to the top half than the bottom half, because I think it is just a very well-made movie. My problem with Halloween 2018 is first of all, we talked about this last week on our stream. They ruined the closet scare in the trailer.
Yeah, that was the thing. Yeah,
terrible thing to put in the trailer because that would have been scary had people done that. Then we get what else? Her acting in that scene, I think, is terrible. I think her acting when she's being killed is pretty bad. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I think some of the friends, like Doug, sorry, I saw Doug's comment. Like Justin said, they're just there, and they're just there to die, and they're trying to get you to relive 78. Like, oh, it's a new teenage group, and it's like, but they're not interesting. Like, they're just not interesting. And I get it, but they should have just leaned more into Lori and Karen and Allison, and I don't really care about the other people. The kills are fantastic. The score is probably the best in the series. It's just incredible. And the mask is great. James Jude Courtney's great. Lori's great. Doug says, and again, it's a lot of that falls in the script. You're absolutely right, Doug. I mean, you write some of these paper-thin characters, and then when they come across on screen as paper-thin characters, and everything's a little convenient, like, oh, this happened because of course it happened. It's like, and the whole Dr. Sartain thing, hated that.
Hey, I didn't like that. I did not like that twist.
No, I get his reasoning. I do think like he's gone a little mad studying Michael, but going to the lengths he went through, I just
maybe it was just really silly the way it was revealed. Like,
when he stood up with the mask on.
Yeah. Now I'm going to point out something that I still love, like I did the first time, and I forgot to mention this. So sorry for backtracking a little bit, but I love the documentary crew, the two characters that we get in the beginning of the movie. I love them. And each time I watch them, when we get that first half with them, I love the movie. I think they're really interesting characters. They're, if not the best, some of the best characters in the movie. If the movie would have at least extended those characters and maybe the movie be a little bit more of, like, a good portion of the movie being about these documentary crew members in the beginning of the movie being fascinated by Michael Myers, and by the end of it, or towards the end of it, really realizing how terrifying and how brutal he really is, that would have been great. I think I love that portion with them. I think the movie falls for me when those crew members, those documentary characters, are gone and killed off like midway into the movie, or not even midway. I love those characters, and my heart always feels sad when they're dying. Like that whole bathroom scene is just so sad. Anyway, I had to throw that in there because I love that. I still love that.
And I totally agree. That's a great point. Drew, look, I will tell you this, man. If you're not big into 2018, everything I've heard about kills, like I said, from somebody that's seen it, it is totally different.
They improved that.
It's totally different. So I implore you to still see kills, because I think you're gonna dig kills. I really do.
And coming from somebody who just likes the movie or overall has appreciated it now, but doesn't love the 2018 movie, I am so excited for Halloween Kills, because there's a lot of elements that I'm looking forward to, and I hear it's better and they've improved things. So
I already know I'm gonna like it more than 2018. I already know.
Me too. Me too.
Going into it. I mean, the trailer hurt it, and the problems are more evident with rewatches. But yeah, I mean, it really does have, it really does have some hardcore fans to it, and I appreciate it because it's a really well-made movie. I didn't hate the twist either, but like Justin and I said, man, and thanks for tuning in, Dan. It's the execution. It is the execution of the twist. Standing up with the mask on is just so corny. It's like
it is.
William, Can you not? You're gonna get scratched by the cat. Anyway, it's just so terrible. It's just terrible.
Yeah,
When he stands up, I laugh, and not you shouldn't be
I did
laughing.
too.
But yeah, let's see. Kills is gonna be a much better film. Y'all just have to trust me on that. Yeah, that's what I've heard too.
So, but you know what?
It doesn't focus on Allison as much as, from what I've heard, this is really just, it's more Judy Greer's movie. That's what I've heard. Now, maybe Evan can, I don't know if you've seen it or you know someone that's seen it and you have details. I intentionally avoided asking for some. I do know one detail of a character that is not dead from 2018, so I'm stoked about that. I won't tell you guys unless you want me to, so whatever. But yeah, I've heard it's more Judy Greer's character that we focus on. So I'm looking forward to that. Let's see. I love the 2018 film when I first saw it in the theater.
Hey, Sarah.
Hey.
This is my friend, Sarah.
Hello.
Shout out.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a really well-made movie. It is.
I mean, I guess, again, when I first saw it, it was just like, I think the trailers were so good, and I think I was hyped up that I just think it's a good movie. I don't love it. So, but if you love it, that's totally fine. I mean, I'm glad we had a Halloween movie come out in general. I mean, it was a long time.
Thing. It had been 10 years, and we had seen Halloween 3D fall apart, and then we saw
Halloween Returns.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, and that's a whole nother thing, because in going back and reading Halloween 3D script and Return script really wasn't that bad. Halloween 3D script was pretty bad.
Was it? We'll have to talk about it sometime.
Laurie she did survive Halloween 2, and she was like in a mental institution. It was bad. It was really cheesy. What else? Let's see. And then Allison isn't as involved in kills as she is in 2018. It's more about Karen, Tommy, Lindsay, and a returning character from 2018 that I won't reveal. I do know that character, Evan. I know exactly who you're talking about. Super stoked that character did not die. Did the cat get you? I was trying to tell you. So that's what I've heard. So I think anybody that has reservations about that, don't, because I've heard great things. And, you know, this is a guy that saw it, that enjoyed 2018, but he's like me. It's middle of the road. And he loves kills. I think he said it's his favorite since the original. So there's that.
So now we want to talk about editions of movies.
Yes.
Let's see. Thoughts on the titles for the new movies. Okay. Halloween Kills. It grows on me. I don't mind the title. Halloween Ends, though. If this is the last final Halloween movie, that's fine. But I know, like many franchises, they're going to try to do something else. And I'm like, if you're going to call it Halloween Ends and it's the final movie, that's good. But if you're going to continue on doing more Halloween movies, it's a title that just kind of, I don't know if it works. But we did have Friday the 13th, the final chapter in the 80s, and we got more Friday the 13th films. So
I don't know. What's your thoughts? Halloween Ends sounds better than Halloween Kills on its face. However, again, yes, there's the logical argument of why name it Halloween Ends, because we all know this is not going to be the last Michael Myers movie we see in our lifetime.
Yeah.
It just won't be. But I think the reason for that is that they're essentially saying this Halloween story, Michael and Laurie, this is ending. I get it. I'm not huge on it, but they're okay. I mean, they're okay. You know, it's not like I don't like the title of Halloween Resurrection because he's being resurrected. Michael's not dead. Him going back to the house, you know, that title, I mean, whatever. And H2O got a lot of hate because of water. I know why it's H2O, but that title got a lot of hate. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't hate it. They're okay. You know, they're okay.
I mean, I feel like their titles, though, and this is no disrespect to anybody behind these, but I feel like their titles that they were like, what do we call these movies? Let's just throw Kills and Ends in there. It's almost like it was so simple of titles that they picked out that they were just throwing them in there.
Yeah, I don't know. Think that I don't know. I mean, it might have been cool. I don't know. I mean, there would have been cool subtitles that you could have used. Yes, I agree with your comment, Dan. I mean, especially since you're going to get Anthony Michael Hall as Tommy.
Oh, that's so cool.
Actor.
And
you might as well give him screen time. I mean,
and yeah, and shout out to Kyle Richards, because I'm a big Kyle Richards fan. I cannot wait. It's so cool that they even reached out to her and they were like, "Hey, I know you were just in the first Halloween." She's proud of the movie, but it's cool that they reached out to her and they were like, "Do you want to come back as Lindsay Wallace?" Like, that's neat. I love stuff like that.
Yeah, and you're
I'm
right.
excited to see her.
Title is title. So then Sarah says, "Do you think they might try something like Part 3 again?" And then Dan says, "I think people need to be more receptive." Talking about the anthology angle after ends may sound crazy.
I mean,
okay, I would be totally down for it, but I'm just going to tell you guys right now, I don't think they're ever going to do it again. Malik probably has some kind of like contract somewhere from his father that's like, you can't ever try that again, because Mustafa said after that, Halloween is Michael Myers. If we're making Halloween, it's Michael Myers. And as long as it's still in the Akkad's hands, I think the Akkads are never going to try that again. I would be okay with it. But no, what I think will happen is you'll either go some years and get a straight up remake again, or you'll go some years and get a sequel to another timeline in the series, or the most likely will be a reboot of just another reimagining, bringing Michael Myers back with new characters, not Laurie, whatever it may be. And here, suspend disbelief. This is a different time.
Again, real quick, I would be even okay. I mean, I know some people don't like the Thorn trilogy or Halloween 4 and 5, but if they said, okay, we've ended the Laurie Strode story, let's kind of see where Jamie Lloyd is, and like just act like she didn't even die in Halloween: The Curse of Michael Myers. And if they want to bring Danielle Harris back for her own movie, picking up after 5, or not picking up after 5, but like having her come back, I would be happy with that too. So, yeah.
I mean,
those are some ideas.
I would love to see Danielle back. I would absolutely love to see Danielle.
As Jamie Lloyd.
I want to let you know, I am working very hard trying to find a way to get Danielle on the channel. She does cameo stuff on her website. You can pay for a cameo. I was going to reach out to her directly and find out what I would have to do. Give me a price to have you on for a sit down, because I love Danielle. She's a high profile actress, in my opinion. I have no problem. Hey, I will compensate you for an interview. I know you guys would love to see it. I'd love to sit down and talk to her. No promises, but that would be cool. But guys, that's our Halloween franchise talk. Well, we went over 2 hours. You can say something. Go ahead.
We talk about Halloween editions. I just want to show this. So even though I like this movie, I own 3 different editions of the film. I own the 4K, and I own 2 different steelbooks. So, sorry. That one and that one. So
I only own the Blu-ray. That's the only one I own. The only edition I own. I'm going to buy the steelbooks, though. I know I will. But yeah, I love those steelbooks. They're But
really this was fun.
Yes. So here we are, guys. Over 2 hours, and we probably could have gone all night if we really wanted to dive into some stuff. Justin has a wealth of knowledge when it comes to Halloween, as do I. It's our favorite. First of all, I just want to say to everybody that watched this that may be a subscriber of mine, just like last time, check out Justin's channel. Subscribe to him.
Thank you.
He puts out great content. He's a great guy. And honestly, I'm liking these.
Thank you.
And I think we should do them more. I think we should do another one next week. What do you think?
I think that would be great. Okay. Yeah. I would love to.
We'll text. We'll think of a topic, and we'll do one next week. But I'm loving these sit downs. I'm loving the conversation that we get in the chat. I mean, it's super cool to see you guys engaging with us. It's really awesome to hear Justin talk about things he loves and just get to spend time and one-on-one chat.
I mean,
guys,
I think.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I would say real quick before we go, Nick, you're an awesome guy. I've always thought you were awesome, and it's a pleasure to do these with you and talk to you. And if anybody is following from my channel over to Nick's channel, please go subscribe. Your stuff's fantastic, dude. And, I'm blessed to call you a friend.
Well, Justin, the feeling is mutual. I love your content. I love you as a person. I'm very thankful to have you as a friend and to be able to take the time to share this platform together and just talk. It makes it easier
Likewise,
if you're
brother.
actually friends with the person because you can just kind of
Yes,
keep going. So
I know.
I'm sorry, guys. We trip each other up sometimes. We interrupt each other sometimes. It's just we're very passionate about this stuff, so we want to talk.
Yeah.
But before we go, we had one question. Last question we're going to answer in the chat. Justin, you go first. What is your favorite kill in the series?
Oh, that's so tough. Favorite kill in the series. Okay, so I don't know if it's my favorite kill in the series, but I think it's one of the most creative kills. I love the Kelly Meekler shotgun kill from Halloween 4. I think the way it's lit and the buildup is so good, and that kill is great. I'm like, because you got to think about this. At the time, yes, we had the hot tub kill in Halloween 2, but like the kills, even though they were great and suspenseful, you didn't have like a creative kill like that. And so when you see him throw her up against the wall or the door and shove that shotgun in her, I mean, that was creepy yet creative. I was like, a shotgun kill. Awesome.
Yep. For me, if we would have seen more of it, it would have been Danielle Harris in Halloween 2 because of how impactful that was, but we didn't really see the kill. So I can't say. But I think for me, my favorite is the vanilla pick. It's Bob in the original Halloween.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Bob's classic. Yeah. I love Bob. That kills classic.
That is also tied with me. I would say that's my favorite, but right behind it is Octavia Spencer in Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, because that kill, let me tell you, you want to talk about brutal. You want to talk about relentless. I mean, I feel so bad for Octavia because I counted one time how many times she got stabbed, and I think it's like 16 or 17. Wow. That kill just encapsulates Rob Zombie's Michael Myers. So, but yeah, it's probably Bob. Phil says
Bob's classic. It's a classic. I mean, even PJ Souls killing Linda in the original Halloween, it's creepy. The build-up's creepy. So
Sean says that shotgun kill was Tom Morga.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember he did a few things in Halloween 4, but then they were like, okay, that's all we need you for. And then George Wilbur took over. Like, I knew he was the Michael Myers with the bandaged face. I knew that was Tom Morga.
I think that kills. I think it's a creative kill, but I think it's creepy too. Just the buildup is creepy. And the fact that like it takes place in a pretty much dark house was creepy. So, but yeah, there's so many great kills. There's so many great ones.
Yeah, so. I absolutely. And then Rob Zombie Halloween 2 love. Yes, we both love the movie. It's not a popular opinion. It's gained its cult following now, but yeah. So, all right, guys. Well, thank you so much to everybody tuning in. We also had a special guest in the chat. We had Sean Clark, and he just said best kill ever is Lester. Lester. Well, yeah, chill. Yes. No, we had a very special guest in the chat, Sean. He's also going to be on the channel later this week, so please check out my sit down with Sean. Dude, I have so much to ask you, Sean. I will not run you 2.5 hours, though. I promise. I know you're a busy guy. Justin, thank you so much for coming.
You're welcome.
So much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Can't wait to do this next week.
I know.
I will say, though, really quick to Sean's point. I mean, yeah, Lester was, you feel bad for the dog. I mean,
yeah.
Original Halloween,
poor Lester. Yeah, well, Annie kicked him out of the house. She was like, Lester, go away.
Yeah, I know. I also, that whole scene, and she's like, this dog hates me. And I'm like, well, he didn't live much longer after that. So,
poor Lester.
Sean says, Lester the dog, kidding, of course. Yeah, I know. But I mean, that is a pretty, I remember the first time I saw that movie, I was like, wow.
He killed a dog, like on screen. You saw him You saw the dog die on screen.
And I love when people talk about Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 and they're like, well, he ate a dog on screen. I'm like, you act like it's the first time you see him kill a dog on screen. He did it in the original. Nobody said anything about it. He did it twice.
He killed a lot of dogs in this series, though.
Yeah.
So
They walk in and he's like, "Isn't it a dead dog in the family room?" When Loomis and Brackett walk in and they don't see it, but they mention it. Like,
I mean, Halloween 4 had a dead dog. Halloween 5 had a dead dog. I'm like, how many dogs does Michael Myers have to kill in this franchise?
He hates dogs. He hates dogs. All right.
But,
and then Dennis says, "Love from Germany." Thank you so much, Dennis.
Thank you. Thank you for watching.
And then Sean says, "Great show, guys. See you Wednesday." And with that,
thank you, Sean.
See you Wednesday, everybody, with Sean Clark. And we will see you with Justin next Monday. I think this is a good day to do these things. So
we'll do this Monday.
Justin, we'll keep doing it, okay?
I'm great with that. So,
all right.
Anyway, thank you.
Hey, Justin, thank you so much. Thank you to all my subs. All you guys are awesome. And I hope you guys have a great night and a great week.
Go eat some Skittles. Why don't you? So.